You have a Jewish friend?
No, sir, I do not have a Jewish friend. I am the black Jew. I am the black Hebrew. I am a member of the family of the black Hebrew Israelites. But if you're asking me, do I have a white so-called Jew friend who is not in that line of Semites, so I can't be anti-Semitic? Did you know that there are Semites in Africa? Did you know that there are Semites in Asia? That there are some Semites so black until they're blue black, purple black, and beautiful? These are people using a political term, anti-Semitism, when it's really anti-Kemetism, an anti-black program.
But nevertheless, there is true Hebrews. There is a true people of the Most High that is scattered throughout the nations of the earth this day. It is not whom that many people believe they are, such as the so-called Jews in the nation-state of Israel that we so see before us right now. I would interject that the true biblical Hebrews are the so-called African-American people that are scattered abroad throughout the world. It is very important that you understand who the true Hebrews are, because that end-time prophecy, lots of it, surround these individuals. Now please understand that not every single black person is a true Hebrew, but it is those that are under the curse of Deuteronomy 28.
Shalom, shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are. But you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel. And I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, here to Zion, to Jerusalem, because us the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray, because you are our saviors. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come for your people, come back for us, come back for the whole Gentiles, because only you gonna save us. So please come back to Zion.
Which are an ancient community of the Israelite exiles. Now this is, for the most part, the general consensus of the largest people in Africa. You do have different groups like the Abudai in Uganda who aren't saying they're from the lost tribes, but have joined the people of Israel in the large amounts of numbers. One other location I'd like to... Actually, before I go into this other location, what's fascinating is, which I speak about, is the transatlantic slave trade. A large percentage of it actually came from Igbo territory. So these Igbo today in Nigeria, who are practicing Jews, numbering the 40 million people with customs and traditions, doing circumcision on the 8th day, were the same exact people brought to the Americas on the transatlantic slave trade. Now, if someone goes to Times Square in New York today, you'll see African Americans dressed in Israelite outfits and yelling at people saying, "You're not the real Jews, we're the real Jews." And so most people saying, "Well, you guys are kooky, you just made this whole thing up, you made up a religion and an identity." Actually, no, they are the blood descendants, most likely, of the people who, from Israel, were brought from Africa to America. So it's very fascinating.
The wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha in the 5th chapter talks about how Jacob, how the heathen is going to be amazed and confounded when they realize that the so-called black man is that chosen line.
In America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. So what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is, most likely there is something there. And most likely, maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white, Caucasian people came in a little bit later on.
I just wanted to come to you to impart some knowledge onto you about who the true biblical Hebrew Israelites are. Bloodline-wise, they are the so-called African Americans.
Brothers and sisters, blacks of America, it's you. You are the true Hebrews. You are the true Hebrews from the Bible. America gonna do everything, gonna invest as much money as it has, gonna fight as much wars as they can, gonna invite as much weapons as they can just to hide this away from you. Gonna take Israel, gonna bring white people here and to tell you these are the Jews. Gonna kill you, gonna kill Arabs, gonna mistreat white people like this guy, just to tell you this lie that you are nobody and we are the Jews with all the history and so on. It has been deleted, your history. You don't know who you are. Don't forget about it. This is why, because America has been taking your history away, never to find out that it's all about you. I'm telling you this, please. I don't ask you to come to Israel and to start a revolution. I'm just asking you to start thinking this way, to believe me a little bit, because I'm living in Israel and I'm part of this injustice.
The Hebrew Israelites, God's chosen people, are what we call African American.
If you look in Exodus 13:3 and Deuteronomy 20 and verse 2, it refers to Egypt as the house of bondage. Now, I want to show you something, and I know everybody has seen this. I saw it a million times, but never paid any attention and never really thought twice about it. But on the back of the dollar bill, there's a pyramid. Now, pyramids are notorious with Egypt. I mean, you say pyramid, that's automatically what you think of is Egypt. So why would the United States of America put a pyramid on the back of their dollar bill? Now, with the word Egypt meaning...
Welcome. You're tuned in to the Scorn Black Man podcast. I'm your host with the most, Zadok, Hilltop 12 Tribe, Israel in the building. Got my good brother. I had two good brothers up here. Brother Ben Naweed dropped out. I got the other good brother, Fred Jackson, a.k.a. Brother Yisrael, a.k.a. the Holy Prophet. And we got, this is Controversial and Deep Biblical Breakdown series sponsored by the Scorn Black Man podcast. And today we have part 2. Fred Jackson presents Identifying the 12 Tribes of Israel, part 2. How you doing, Brother Fred Jackson, Brother a.k.a. Israel? How you doing today, brother? Can you hear me, Brother Fred Jackson? Brother Ben Naweed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
y'all hear me? Okay. I think Fred froze up. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, no, it was breaking up or something. That's why I was asking if you heard me.
Okay. How you doing, Brother Ben Naweed? How you doing, brother?
Yes, shalom, brother. Shalom.
I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed.
Okay, good. How about you,
Shalom.
Brother Israel? I'm trying to make sure I don't have a delay. I'm trying to make sure I don't have a delay out there, man. Make sure y'all brother can hear me loud and clear. Yeah, man. Part 2, man. Getting into it, Brother Israel, man. Part 2. Identifying the 12 tribes of Israel, presented by the Scorn Black Man podcast, but presented by Brother Israel and also the good brother Ben Naweed up in the building, man. We got the Georgia Power up in here right now, man. Got a lot of Georgia Power up in here right now, man. So we're gonna let the brothers bring their calls out, man. You know what I'm saying? Part 2. Identifying the 12 tribes of Israel, presented by the Scorn Black Man podcast, brought out by Brother Fred Jackson, aka Brother Israel, aka the Holy Prophet, and you know what I'm saying, assisted by Brother Ben Naweed, man, aka the Weaver. Brothers, the floor is yours, man. The floor is yours. Y'all know how to do it, man. The floor is yours, man.
All right, brother. I'm gonna get right on it because this might be a long one. I know it's gonna be more than 2 hours, probably 2.5. So I'm gonna get right on it. The marks of distinction. The marks of the tribes of Israel, part 2, and this will focus on Levi. The following enlightenment is a continuation concerning the marks of distinction of the sons of Yaqub and the lodges of the same. The tribes that we want to focus in this enlightenment will be the tribes of Levi and Judah respectively, and examine the Hebrew sacred scriptures to confirm the consent of the Torah regarding the distinguishing marks of the same. In the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 7, it is consented. Simeon and Levi are chiefs. That which pertaineth of the unrighteous are in their lodges. O my nobles, worship not you with their necromancers. Concerning their solemn assembly, my nobles, you joined. For in their indignation, they profaned the worthy, and in their self-will, they made a perverted mason. Cursed be their mind, for it is impudent, and their zeal, for it is violent. Disannul them with the supplanter, and remove them from having power as a prince. And the aforementioned consent of the Torah concerning both Simeon and Levi, we are enlightened to the truth that both sons' lodges are marked as being chief in the husband of Israel. Yet we are warned that which pertains to the unrighteous behavior and all manner of immoral conduct are in their lodges, and their ministers for worship are necromancers. Moreover, I was covenanted the priesthood, and the same were charged to remove the insolent kindred who practiced the said abomination amongst others, as Moses instructed. Concerning this truth, in the book of Deuteronomy, verses 1, verses 10 through 14, verses 18 through 19, it is consented. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no inheritance, nor over Israel. They shall make the rage that act insolently to cease among the enlightened, and his inheritance. There shall not be found among you any man that make his son or his daughter with the enlightened, or that speak divination, or an observer of idols, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter of cunning spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination to Yah. And because of these abominations, Yah, thy sovereign, do disinherit them thenceforth from among you. You shall become perfect by reason of Yah, thy sovereign. For this assemblage, which you shall disinherit thenceforth, listen to observers of idols and to diviners. But as for you, Yah, thy sovereign, have not allowed you. I will raise them up from among their brethren, like unto you, a prophet, and will render again my oracles to his doctrine. He shall teach them all that I see him, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not listen to my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will consult the same to desolate him. And concerning the tribe of Levi and the priesthood as the inheritance of the firstborn allotted him, the Torah consents. In the book of Numbers, chapter 3, verses 1 through 13, it is written, this also is a descent of and Moses at the time that the sovereign spake with Moses upon Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab, the firstborn, and Abihu, and Eleazar, and Ithamar. These same were honored of the kindred of the priest's office. And Nadab and Abihu died by reason of a terrible act, when they burned incense to injure the enlightened of Yah in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar served in the priest's office in the presence of Aaron their father. And the sovereign spake to Moses, commanding, bring the tribe of Levi near, present them before Aaron the high priest, that they may do service under him, and they shall keep his charge, and the charge for all the solemn assembly, because of the lodges of the assembly, to perform the service of the temple. And they shall maintain all the vessels of the temple for the assemblage, and the charge of the Levites of Israel, to perform the service of the temple. And you shall lay unto charge the Levites with Aaron and with his sons, wholly committed to him out of all the families of Israel. And you shall ordain Aaron and his sons, and they shall adhere to altogether their priest's office. And him that is a non-relative that enter in to worship shall be put to death. And Yah bear witness according to Moses, certifying, and surely I have removed the Levites from among Israel, instead of all the firstborn that opens the womb among the sons of Israel. Therefore, the Levites shall be mine, because all the firstborn are mine. For on the day that I slaughtered all the firstborn in the husbandry of Mitzrayim, I sanctified to me all the firstborn in Israel, both the good man and the brutish person. Mine shall they be. I am Yah. Wherefore, given the aforementioned consent of the Torah concerning the righteousness of the priesthood being bestowed upon Levi as his portion of the firstborn, we shall now examine the Hebrew sacred scripture to confirm the ordinances of the priesthood of the assemblage as the allotment of the sons of Aaron and his tribe to be ministers of the priests of Yah. In the book of Jubilees, chapter 31, verses 5 and verses 8 through 14, it is written, Yaqub departed to his father Yesu and his mother Rebekah among the household of his forefather Abraham. And he took two of his sons with him, Levi and Judah. Yaqub went in before Yishak his father to the room where he and his two sons were with him. He took his father's hand and stooped down, and he kissed him. Yishak held on the neck of Yaqub his son and wept on his neck. The darkness left the eyes of Yishak, and he saw the two sons of Yaqub, Levi and Judah. And he said, Are these your sons, my son? Because they look like you. He said to Yishak, They are truly my sons, and you have clearly looked on another, that they are truly my sons. They came near to him, and he inclined and kissed them, and embraced them both together. The inspiration of prophecy surely came with his word, and he took hold by his right hand, and Judah by his left. And he turned to Levi first, and began to bless him first, and said to him, May the sovereign of everything, the true sovereign of all ages, bless you and your shown lineage throughout all the ages. May Yah render upon you and your offspring greatness and noble honor from among all the kindred. May Yah cause you and your children to draw near to him, to serve in his sanctuary, like unto the angels of Yah, and as consecrated Levites. The offspring of your sons shall be committed to the honor and dignity and the holiness for the patrimony. May he grant them abundance throughout all the earth. They shall be the judges, also princes, and chiefs of all the offspring of the stewards of Yaqub. They shall teach the commandments of Yah according to righteousness, and they shall justify all his judgments according to altogether just. Also, in the book of Jubilees, chapter 32, verses 1, verses 3, and verse 8, it is confirmed. The same night he stayed at Bethel, and Levi dreamed they had ordained and appointed his sons and him the priesthood of the Most High Sovereign forever. Then he awoke from his sleep and praised Yah. In those days, being pregnant with her son Benjamin, Yaqub counted his sons, starting with him, proceeding to the oldest, and Levi had inheritance as the portion of Yah. Levi was the third son. A third part greatly desired the law, spiritual completeness. His father clothed him in the vestures of the priesthood and perfected his ministry. He tithed all the clean animals and offered a burnt sacrifice, but he did not ascribe the unclean animals to Levi his son. He laid unto charge him responsibility for all the souls of the patrimony. Levi worked in the priestly office at Bethel according to the knowledge of his father, in preference to his 10 brothers. He was the priest, and Yaqub gave his vow, and he paid a tithe to the elder again and dedicated it, and it became like a holy portion concerning him. Wherefore, given the aforementioned consent of the Torah and confirming scripture concerning us far. We are enlightened to the truth that the priesthood was covenanted to the same as his portion of the inheritance of the firstborn. And furthermore, as the tribe chosen to offer the sacrificial presence to Yah for all the of the patrimony. Levi had no inheritance, nor conquest over Israel, but were charged to seek the law, to remove the transgressor from among the inheritance of the upright kindred. Abraham was also the Messiah of his period, appointed his son Yishak in the priestly office at the command of the sovereign, given that Ishmael, being the firstborn, was also the son of a bondwoman. Yet Sarah was the wife of Abraham, and Yishak was the acknowledged instead. Concerning this truth, in the book of Genesis, chapter 21, verses 8 through 12, it is consented. And the youth advanced and was rewarded. And Abraham prepared a great feast the same day Yishak was rewarded. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Mitzrayite, which he had born to Abraham, scoffing. Wherefore she demanded of Abraham, cast bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman shall not become heir over my son, even over Yishak. And the judgment was very grievous according to Abraham's knowledge because of his offspring. But the sovereign communed him. Let it not be grievous according to thy knowledge because of the young man, and because of the bondwoman. According to all that Sarah hath said to you, listen to her voice, for through Yishak shall thy seed be preserved. Within the scripture concerning the son of the bondwoman, who was the firstborn and rightful heir, and Yishak, the son of Sarah, we are enlightened to the truth that Abraham was faced with the dilemma of the birthright regarding his firstborn, and Yishak to the knowledge of Yah concerning the judgment in the law. The Torah consents the judgment of the matter in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verses 15 through 17, where it is consented. If a man wives, one beloved and the other hated, and they have brought forth him sons, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn is hers that was hated, then it shall come to pass when he must to inherit that which he have, in order that he may not make the sons of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is surely the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated as the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he have, for he is the first fruit of his body. The right of the firstborn is his. The Torah furthermore consents the judgment of Abraham and bestowing the right of the firstborn upon Yishak, which is in the Torah with Yishak's appointment to the priesthood, an ordinance reserved as the right for the firstborn. Concerning this truth, in the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verses 1 through 2, verse 12, and verse 14, it is consented. And it came to pass after these things that Yah did try Abraham, and said to him, Abraham, and he answered, surely, here I am. And he commanded, take now thy son, thy just builder Yishak, whom you love, and depart you for the land of Moriah, and appoint him there to offer incense and sacrifice, in the sanctuary of the rays that I will show you of. And he commanded, pour anointed oil upon the young man. Likewise do you the husbandman appointed unto him. For this place I distinguish in order that you revere Yah, because you have not withheld thy son, thine just builder Yishak, from me. And Abraham called the name of that place Yah-Yireh, as it is said to this day, on the mount of Yah it shall be provided. Wherefore, the aforementioned scripture consents the priesthood as the right of the firstborn, Yishak inherited according to the laws pertaining to the firstborn, and concerning offering incense and sacrifice as a priestly office. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 16, verses 12 through 13, it is consented. Take a censer full of the burning coals out of the same fire from off the sacrificial altar before Yah, and his hands full of the sweet incense being small, and bring it within the sacred screen. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before Yah, that the cloud of the incense may cover the reproach put away that is against the assemblage, that they die not. And to confirm the burning of incense and sacrifice as the office of the priests of the sons of Aaron, who were Levi. In the book of St. Luke, chapter 1, verses 5 through 6, verses 8 through 9, it is confirmed. There was in the days of Herod, the sovereign of Judea, a certain priest named Zechariah of the division of the worshippers of Yah. And his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before Yah, following after all the commandments and ordinances of Yah blameless. And it passed, while he executed the priest's office before Yah in the order of his course, according to the ordinance of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of Yah. Wherefore, give mention enlightenment concerning Levi and his allotment of the priesthood as the right of the firstborn. We can now ascertain the marks of distinction pertaining to Levi, which is exacted against the patrimony by reason of the profanement of the priesthood. Excuse me. Again, in the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verses 5 through 6, it is consented. Simeon and Levi are chiefs. That which pertain of the unrighteous are in their lodges. O my nobles, worship you not with their necromancers. Concerning their solemn assembly, my nobles, be not one. For in their indignation they profaned the worthy, and in their self-will they made a perverted mason. Therefore, those who are marked with the distinction of Levi are consented negroes, practitioners in the occultic art of animating the dead. That is, those people who have recently transitioned this life. And furthermore, they profane their worthy by making them perverts through sodomite rites of passage. Concerning these truths, in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verses 1 through 7, it is consented. Now the enchanter was more cunning than any person of the inheritance the chief sovereign had ordained. And he uttered to the husbandman, surely have the sovereign commanded, you shall not profane self for any carpenter of the garden. And the husbandman uttered to the enchanter, read of a tablet of the chiefs of the garden, but of the steward of the carpenter, which beacon before the lawgiver of the garden, the sovereign hath commanded, you shall not profane self for him, neither shalt you touch him, lest you die. And the enchanter uttered to the husbandman, you shall not surely die. For the sovereign do know that on the day that you associate with this man, then your knowledge shall be disclosed. And you shall become a master, knowing good things and evil things. And when the husband saw that the carpenter was good to the kindred, and that he was coveted for knowledge, and the carpenter to be desired to make one wise, he joined the same necromancer there and did profane self, and consulted also with the worthy with him, and they did profane self. But the humble of them, moreover, were observant, and they knew those with them that had spread selves, and they sewed leaves together and made themselves aprons. Within the aforementioned consent of the Torah, we are enlightened to the truth and affirmation concerning the steward of the carpenter who beaconed as a luminary of the elder, which is the chief sovereign of the garden, King Eve the enchanter, who deceived the husbandman into profaning himself and the worthy that he consulted. These that were led astray joined the necromancer of the steward, and were profaned themselves by denuding and spreading their uncovered party defiled. Also, the humble of the same worthy made themselves aprons to distinguish themselves from the perverted mason. Before confirming the aforementioned account concerning of the Torah, I will briefly digress to the focus of the apron, the badge of a mason's profession, and its incorporation as a statute for the priesthood. In the book of Exodus, chapter 29, verse 5 and verse 9, it is consented. And you shall take the garments and put upon Aaron the coat and the mantle for the ephod and the breastplate, and gird him with apron for the ephod. Then you shall take the anointed oil and pour it upon his head and consecrate him. And you shall gird them with aprons, Aaron and his sons, and put the headdresses on them. And the priest shall be theirs for a perpetual statute. And you shall consecrate Aaron and his sons. And to confirm the account of the worthy of the garden, and to profanement by reason of the steward that is at Eve, concerning this truth. Foremost in the apocalypse of Abraham, chapter 23, verses 7 through 8, it is confirmed. And I question, who are these two that embrace? And who is he accompanying them? And who are the first fruits whom they are feeding with, O glorious eternal one? And he answered, this is a secret thing of the patrimony. The one whom you saw embrace the other beacons a man of low degree. And that steward who covet their life for the sake of magical craft is Eve. And the initiate, according to the act that defiles the man of low degree, and thereby render the mason a pervert. In the of Abraham, chapter 24, verses 1, verses 3 through 4, and verse 6, it is confirmed. He said to me, I am angered because of the person worthy by reason of your tablet, by reason of those who will come of your family to translate. Because as you can foresee in the vision, the gift of seeing destiny is reserved for them. And I will tell you what will come to pass, and how the elders will lay unto charge the ministry into the tablet and the future chronicles. Now think through everything in the revelation. And I foresaw the man of low degree, and Eve, and the cunning adversary who was accompanying them. The cunning Cain, who had been by the adversary to break the law. And I looked upon the murdered Abel, and the destruction brought against him that was caused by means of the wicked steward. And I discerned with them the male prostitute, and those that desired him, defilement and their jealousness, and the blaze of the pit in the lower depths of the infernal. Moreover, I regarded naked husbandmen with their foreheads against each other, and their disgrace, ashes which they had for each other, and their retribution, and the shame and harm they caused against one another. Moreover, the prophet Samuel bare witness concerning the laws of Levi, and the marks of distinction that I did them, as well as the profanement of the worthy initiate by reason of a sodomite rite of passage that is observed within their lodge, equally in their solemn assemblies. Concerning these scriptural truths, first and foremost, 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verses 12, verses 17, and verses 22, it is confirmed. Now the relatives of Levi were now the relatives of Samuel, now the relatives of Eli were Levites, one family lodging with another, where no righteous works is. The same acknowledged not Yah. Wherefore the offense of the young Levites was very great, for the Levites polluted the sacrificial presence for Yah. Now Eli was an elder chief, and witnessed all that his relatives did against all Israel, and how they lay down for sexual acts with the worthy, which is received builders of the lodges of the assembly. Also, other notable prophets exposed this same trespass by the lodges of Levi, and the congregations of the husbandry who joined them and or allowed the abomination to persist. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 57, verses 3 through 5, verses 7 through 10, and verses 12 through 13, it is confirmed. But continue with here, you sons of the enchanter. You conceive seed of the adulterer and the whore. Against whom do you scorn yourselves? against whom direct you a proud word, and ready prepared by means of slander? Are you not kindred that act covertly, a posterity that deal falsely, slaughtering the bullocks in the low country among the fishers of the place? With the arrogant and proudly spoken hills have you established thy lodge. Even there you travel since to offer sacrifice. Behind the places also and the doorposts have you set up thy burnt incense. You have, for you have uncovered thyself before another than me, and are taken aside to yield. You have enlarged thy lodge, and made you a covenant with them. You loved their lodge when you regarded it, and you kept sovereign with Greece, and produced thy scented substance, and did forsake thy teachers far away, and surely humiliated thyself even with a request. You are wearied by the magnitude of thy course of life, yet consider you not there is of a truth hope. You have attained the life of thine fellowship, therefore you was not made disgusted. I will denounce thy unrighteousness and thy works, will not profit you. When you cry out, let thy section of Levites rescue you, but a blast shall doom them hereafter. Ruin shall overtake them. But he that placed their trust in me shall inherit the husband, and shall inherit my sacred tablet. Also, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verses 3, verses 5 through 6, verses 14 through 15, verses 20 through 23, 28 through 29, verses 33, and verse 37, it is confirmed. Israel was sanctified by Yah, and the first fruits of increase. Any that covet him shall be punished. Calamity shall come upon them, promised Yah. This demand Yah. What iniquity have your chiefs found in me, and have followed idol, and are become foolish? Neither thought they, who is Yah that brought us forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, that guided us according to the tablet, and against the husbandry of the adversary and of proof, and against the husbandry of the cutting instruments, and of the chief that put to death, against the husbandry that no chief cast out the impudent, and where no worthy man of low degree remained. Is Israel kept in bondage? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? The chief put off moaned because of him, and without fail cried, and rendered their husbandmen stupefied. His masters are set on fire to lie waste the lodge. For of an ancient time I have destroyed thy team, and opened thy prisons. And you promised, I will not transgress. Although with every proudly spoken heel, with every prosperous carpenter, you lie down for sexual intercourse, playing the sodomite. Yet I had planted you a noble vintage, and dedicated upright posterity. How then are you changed into a degenerate plant of an adulterous vintage before me? Even though you bathe with much poultice, and use much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked by me, declared Yah the Sovereign. How can you think I am not defiled, and I have not, and I know none denuded, and I have not denuded by the chief men? Consider thy course of life according to the tablet. Understand what you have done. You are in a chief, interlacing his course of life. But where are thy idols that you have fashioned? Let them arise if they can save you in the time of thy distress. For according to the number of thy towns are thy idols. Wherefore will you hold a controversy against me? You all have transgressed against me, declared Yah. Why accept you thy traveler as encountering a lover? Therefore you also have taught the wicked thy course of life. Moreover, you shall be condemned without fail by reason of him, and thine hands upon thine head. For Yah have cast away thy hopes, and you shall not succeed concerning them. More in the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verses 12 through 14, and verses 18 through 19, it is confirmed. My congregation demand judgment against their carpenters, and their own carpenters speak against themselves. For the mind of the whores have caused them to sin through ignorance, and they have departed to commit adultery with God, their refuge. They keep a solemn feast with the chief men of the raised up, and burn incense with the hills, oaks and the poplars and elms, because the shadow therein is favored. Therefore, your daughters shall practice infidelity, and your spouses shall commit adultery. I consent not to instruct your daughters so that they infidelity, nor your spouses when they commit adultery, for they are selected for whoredom, and they observe a festival with the Sodomites. Therefore, the kindred that do surely comprehend shall be judged. Their set up altogether turn aside. They have practiced infidelity continually. Their chief men before an idol take a lover to accept you. The divine intellect altogether wounded you hereafter by his consent, and they shall be wounded because of their solemn feast. Furthermore, concerning the congregation of the Sodomites and the priest that beacon them, in the book of 2 Baruch, chapter 10, verses 6 through 7, verses 14 through 19, it is confirmed. Blessed is he who is not risen up, or he who having been risen up has died. But as for us who are all, lamentation upon us, because we discern the wickedness of an overseer, and that thing which has befallen the teachers. For the barren will above everyone rejoice, and those who have no sons will be glad, and those who have sons will know anguish. For why should they bring forth children in pain, only to bury in grief? Why again should a sodomite desire sons? Why should their kind be again ordained, so that the mother become a widow, and her young ones are led away as prisoners? From that day forward, think not of an adulterous image, and do not discuss gracefulness. Moreover, your priests, take you the keys of the consecrated places, and cast them before the chief man of the astrologer, and bring to the judges and say, attend to your family yourselves, for we are found out to be chiefs. And you young men that weave the best linen, and woolen, and silk, with gold of Ophir, gather together in a hurry all the things, and give them to the foolish, so that they may return them to them, and the fire render these things to him who created them, unless the opponent get possession of them. And Moses renders his consent concerning the trespasses of the chiefs and the Levites regarding the profaning of their word and of their abominable customs, as it is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verses 18 through 23, verses 31 through 34, and verses 37 through 40. It is consented. Of the refuge that begat you, you are unmindful, and have forgotten the sovereign that formed you. And when Yah saw it, he rejected them because of the rebelling of his chiefs, his Levites. And he promised, I will hide my knowledge from them, and I will see who their upright shall be. For they are a very perverse generation, kindred in whom is no truth. They have added to indignation with that which is not of Yah. They have provoked me to rage with their idols, and I will agitate them with the indignation of those that are not Levites. I will provoke them to rage, foolish people. For the fire is kindled by mine rage, and shall burn into the lowest hell, and shall consume the builders with their offspring, and set on fire the foundations to desolate the lifted up. I will calamities against them. I will prepare my worthy to cut off them. For their most stronghold is not as our refuge, and our enemies themselves being the judges. For their princes are the vintage of Sodom, and of the husbandmen of Gomorrah. Their immature grapes are immature grapes, therefore bitter. Their testicles altogether a perfumery. Their slime is like the venom of serpents, and the deadly poison for contortions. Was not this the infirmity received from the depository against me, and marked to bring forth from among my depository? And he shall declare, where are the chiefs, their refuge, in whom they trusted, which did eat the choice part of their sacrifices, and drank the wine of their libation offerings? Let them come forth and help you, and be your protection. Take heed now that I, even I am he, and there exists no sovereign beside me. I put to death, and I restore the congregation. I give wounds, and I heal. Neither is there a person that can escape handiwork. I bring forth my ministry to the humble, and declare, I live forever. And concerning the command against sodomy, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, 20, in verses 22 through 24, it is consented. Moreover, you shall not lie carnally with thy kindred man's wife, to defile thyself with her. You shall not lie with a man with a woman. It is an abominable thing. Neither shall you lie with any animal to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before an animal to lie down thereto. It is an unnatural beauty. Defile you not yourselves in any of these things, for in all this the people are defiled, which I cast out before you. Also, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, 13, it is consented. If a man lie with mankind, as he lie with woman, both of them have committed abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their death will be upon them. Wherefore, we are given clear scriptural truths, with both consents in the Torah and confirmation throughout the books of the prophets regarding the solemn assemblies of Levi, in which incense used in offering sacrifices are a prelude to a sodomite ritual, in which the priests who are covenant to present the sacrificial offerings of Jah for the patrimony they're worthy, and thereby make a pervert mason. And the penalty for allowing and participating in the said abominable customs is death, which the oracles of the acknowledged prophets have confirmed as the judgment for Levi, and any persons whose name is found written in the register of the same. So there is no escaping the punishment. It must be understood that not all the Levites bore the marks of distinction pertaining to their law, given that a husband has the right to lodge among the kindred whose fellowship is deemed favorable for his advancement in the royal law, and concerning practicing the royal art. One such Levite was spoke by the prophet Moses when he rehearsed to his fellow Levites of a future Messiah from among their kindred, like unto himself, being both a builder of Joseph and the chief man thereof, as well as an anointed one of the patrimony descended from Levi. The following enlightenment will offer a detailed account about Yeshua, the prophet of Nazareth, and his ministry, and disputes with the discontented master carpenters that were against him and hated him. First and foremost, Yeshua, manifesting the blessings of heaven through his spiritual gifts, which were and are distinguishing marks of Joseph's, knew through knowledge of his translated works that Moses prophesied concerning him. Regarding this scriptural truth, in the book of St. John, chapter 5, verses 45 through 47, it is written, do not, I will accuse you before the chief. There is a great man that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. Believe not his writings, how shall you believe my oracles? Within the aforementioned scripture, the chief priest and anointed one of the patrimony, Yahshua, while rebuking the Jews of a certain faction of Levites, stated that Moses wrote of him in his writings, and they, the scribes and the Pharisees, being experts in the Mosaic law and priests in the temple, should be aware of the writings, and therefore familiar and being able to identify his own oracles. And concerning Moses and his writings of Yahshua, as the omen to his Messiahship being a reflection as that of Moses, being both Levite and chief man of the builder of Joseph. In the book of me, chapter 18, verses 18 through 19, it is consented, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren to make provision as you, and will render my oracles to his doctrine. And he shall teach to them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall not listen to my words, which he shall teach in my name, I will consult the same to desolate him. Also, the prophet and Messiah Moses, foreseeing the things in his oracles, forewarned of the doctrine imputed to Yahshua, which is accepted by both Christian and Hebrew Israelite congregations, as it is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 7 through 12, where it is consented. For this law, which I command you this day, is not hidden from you, neither is it afar off. It is not in heaven, that you who shall ascend up for us into heaven and reward it to us, that we may proclaim it and perform it. Wherefore, the aforementioned consent of the law totally rejects and any ideologies and religious interpretations and translations teaching that any man will ascend into heaven and proclaim liberty and salvation and reward it to us. And the Torah concerning Moses being a Messiah of the patrimony, and thereby appointed chief man over the sovereigns of the patrimony and Israel, whenever the patrimony tribes assemble. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, 1 through 5, it is consented. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the anointed one of the patrimony, blessed the kindred of Israel before his death. And he said, the sovereign appeared at Sinai and cut off the men of he-goats from them. He enlightened the offspring of the proud to glorify himself. And he appeared with great things to teach of holiness. From his righteous work, came a commission law for them. And further, he loved the patrimony. All his saints are committed to thy service, and they continue to be firm with thy chief men. All the dedicated shall approve of thy commandments. Moses of the law, notwithstanding the inheritance of the assemblage of the restrained. And he was sovereign over Israel, when the chief men of the patrimony and the kindred of Israel were gathered together. First and foremost, it is imperative to keep in mind that Yahshua observed the law and the prophets, and could not teach contrary to the doctrine of the prophets before him. Wherefore, Yahshua made these sentiments clear, attested by the chief priests and scribes of the temple. In the book of St. John, chapter 8, verses 39 through 40, it is written, and they answered and said to him, as our forefather. Yahshua said to them, if you were Abraham's kindred, you would practice the commandments of Abraham. But now you seek to kill me, a man that has told you the truth, which I have proclaimed for Yah. This did not Abraham. Also, in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 5, verses 17 through 19, it is confirmed. Not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to execute. For surely I declare to you, as long as the honorable man and his husband could, one very small part of anything or one particle shall in no wise pass from the law, so that all shall be executed. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach people likewise, he shall be surely cut off in the kingdom of the honorable men. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be marked a great man in the kingdom of the honorable men. And in the book of St. Mark, chapter 11, verses 15 through 18, it is confirmed. And they entered into Jerusalem, and Yahshua went into the temple and began to cast out them that sought in the temple, and returned to cast out likewise the pale money brokers and the chiefs of them that surely sold intoxications. And he would not grant that any chief should utter anything in the temple. And he saying to them, is it not written, my temple shall be appointed for all the patrimony, a temple for intercession? But you have made it a resort for thieves. And the scribes and the chief priests considered it, sought how they might kill him. For they feared him, because all the builders were astonished by his doctrine. In the book of St. John, chapter 8, verses 1 through 11, it is confirmed. Yahshua stated for an honorable man that was prominent. And early in the morning, he came again into the temple. And all the Levites came before him. And he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought before husband taken because of adultery. And when they had set him before the lawgiver, they said to him, Master, this husband was seized because of adultery in the very act. Now Moloch commanded us that the same should be stoned. But what command you? This they questioned, testing him, that they might have knowledge to accuse him. But Yahshua looked down, and with his finger wrote from the tablet, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he arose to minister himself, and demanded of them, he who is without sin among you, let him first cast at him. And again he looked down and wrote from the tablet. And they which considered it, being convicted by their own conscience, departed out one by one, beginning with the eldest to the following. And Yahshua was left alone, and the husbandman standing before the lawgiver. And when Yahshua lifted himself up and saw that not one man but the husbandman, he said to him, Fellow, thine accusers, have any chief man condemned you? He answered, No, chief master. And Yahshua said to him, Neither do I condemn you. Depart and trespass no more. Well, given the aforementioned enlightenment thus far concerning Yahshua, we are provided the scriptural truth that Yahshua was both a chief priest whose ministry reflected the law and the prophets, and that the chief priest had the authority to enter into the temple and teach. A covenant right only reserved for the sons of Aaron and their descendants, with their tribe, which is Levi, as ministers of the congregation and servants in the temple. Concerning this truth, again, the book of Numbers, chapter 3, verses 1 through 3, verses 5 through 10, it is consented. This also is the descent of Aaron and Moses at the time that the sovereign spake with Moses upon Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab the firstborn, and Abihu, and Eleazar, and Ithamar. These same were honored of the kindred of the priest's office. And the sovereign spake to Moses, commanded, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and present them before Aaron the high priest, that they may do service under him. And they shall keep his charge, and the charge for all the all the solemn assembly because of the largest of the assembly to perform the service temple. And they shall maintain all the vessels of the temple for the assemblies and the charge of the Levites of Israel to perform the service of the temple. And you shall lay unto charge the Levites with Aaron his sons, wholly committed to him out of all the families of Israel. And you shall ordain Aaron and his sons, and they shall adhere to altogether their priest's office. And him that is a non-relative that enter into shall be put to death. That's law. Also, Yahshua taught in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 23, verse 3, where it is confirmed. Then Yahshua spake to the husband and to his disciples, teaching, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they teach, you are and do. But do you not after their works, for they teach, but perform not. And also to confirm the Levites as the teachers of the husbandry of Israel. In the book of Joshua 23, verses 1 through 3, it is written, Then came near the rulers of the chiefs of the Levites to Eleazar the priest, and to Yahshua, the son of Nun, and before the chiefs of the tribes of Israel. And they spake to them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, saying, Y'all commanded by the ministry of Moses to give us cities to reside in, with the suburbs thereof, for our teachers. And the chiefs of Israel gave to life out of their inheritance, at the commandment of the elder, these cities and their suburbs. Wherefore, given the consent of the Torah, in conjunction with the confirmations in the Gospels of Yahshua, we now understand that the prophet and Messiah, that is the same, was indeed and in truth a Levite of the sons of Aaron, having the authority and appointment as a chief priest to enter into the temple and teach, cast out, and execute judgment according to the law, as previously rehearsed in the account of a Levite who was seized in the act of adultery and brought before Yahshua in the temple for judgment, as it is written and consented in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 22. If a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shall you put away the evildoer from Israel. Moreover, Yahshua's father, Yahself, was also a teacher who taught every year at the feast of the Passover. It was at one such feast that Yahshua would be marked with the distinction of the builder of Joseph, being a descendant of Aaron and the tribe of Levi. Concerning this said account, in the book of St. Luke, chapter 2, verses 41 through verse 52, it is written, Now his father went to teach every year at the feast of the Passover. And since he graded to teach because of the patrimony, he came forth to teach following the ordinance of the feast. And when he had gathered the elders straightway, they sat down, the young man Yahshua lodging behind to teach. And Yosef and his mother knew not, but they supposing him to have been in the traveling company when a day's journey. And they sought him among their kinsfolks and familiar friends. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him sitting before the lawgivers of the doctrine of the law, both listening to them and asking questions. And all that heard him were astonished by his understanding and answers. And when they found him, they were agitated. And his mother said to him, Son, why have you in like manner dealt with us? Certainly, thy kindred and I have sought you grieving. And he said to them, Where is it that you sought me? Consider you not that I must be about my patrimony's work? And they understood the request which he spake. And he made ready to leave with them, but was brought to Nazareth, and became a subject of the ordinances of them. See Numbers chapter 6, verses 1 through 22, for the ordinances of the Nazareth. And his bond separated all the ties in his life. And Yahshua increased in wisdom and judgment and in favor with Yah and the kindred. As rendered in the aforementioned scripture, the young man Yahshua was taken to Nazareth following the feast of the Passover, where his bond as a Nazarite separate all the ties in his life, which is a mark of the builder of Joseph. Again, concerning mark of distinction, in the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 26, it is consented. The blessings of thy patrimony have dominion over the nobles, and the blessings of thy progenitors, according to infinite order of an ancient promotion. They shall be committed to the chief man of Joseph, and on the diadem of the head of him that was separated from among his kindred. Among fulfilling the oath of the Nazarite, Yahshua departed Nazareth to receive a ceremonial ablution of a priest and prophet whose name is Yachanan, and who is commonly known in circular religion as John the Baptist. It was at this time Yahshua had a vision, foreseeing the effects of his ministry amongst the Jews. Concerning this account and truth, in the book of St. Mark, chapter 1, verses 9 through 11, it is written, and it came to pass in those days that Yahshua departed from the Galilee, and greatly desired the ceremonial ablution of John in the Jordan. And straightway, coming up out of the water, he had a vision of builders divided, and perceived the kindred abundantly because of him. And there came a proclamation from an honorable man, declaring, "You are my beloved heir apparent to the throne, with whom I am well pleased." Within the scripture concerning Yahshua, we are revealed yet another mark of the builders of Joseph, manifested by the same, which are the blessings from on high, the spiritual gifts bestowed upon the chief man of Joseph. Again, concerning mark of the builder of Joseph, in the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verses 22 through verses 26, it is written, "Joseph is a fruitful builder, the righteous seed afflicted in prison, whose work among the masons. The master carpenters that are discontented vexed him, and rose up against him, and hated him. But his strength endured amongst the unrighteous, and the strength of his ministry is established to continue by the noble patrimony of the restrained. From thence shall be the shepherd, the builder that have power as a prince, the just among the builders of thy patrimony, who shall help you, and by the Almighty, who shall bless you with of the heaven above, blessings of the exceeding deep things that the large high, blessings herein to prophesy, and hereby have compassion. The blessings of thy patrimony have dominion over the nobles, and the blessings progenitors, according to the infinite order of an ancient promotion. They shall be committed to the chief man of Joseph, and on the diadem of the head of him that was separate from among his kindred. And concerning the manifestation of Yahshua, seeing the builders divided by reason of Yahshua and his ministry. In the book of St. John, chapter 10, verses 19 through 21, it is confirmed. There was a division, therefore, again among the Jews for these, and the agitator of them said, "He have a spirit of a bad nature, and is mad. Why hear you him?" Others said, "These are not words of him that have a spirit of bad nature. Carol exposed to infamy the knowledge of the masters." Also, in the book of St. John, chapter 9, verse 16, it is confirmed. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, "This chief is not of Yah, because observe not the Sabbath." Others said, "How can a person that is a sinner furnish such wondrous works?" And there was a division amongst them. And in the book of St. John, chapter 7, verses 41 and verse 43, it is confirmed. The honorable of the chiefs, therefore, when they heard this saying, communed, "Of a truth, this is a prophet." Others said, "This is the Messiah." But some questioned, "Shall a Messiah come out of Galilee? So there was a division amongst them. Wherefore, we are enlightened to the truth regarding the manifestation of Yahshua's vision, which he had upon ceremonial ablution, of us being divided, which eventually came to pass. Amongst the topics of Yahshua's ministry, which divided the priesthood and their builders, were his acts on the Sabbath day, and the question regarding his Messiahship, and if so, which one was he for certain. But due to the severe wickedness of the priesthood and their neglect of the law, they failed to comprehend Yahshua's ministry. One such account, as ascribed in the Gospels concerning his way performed on the Sabbath day, and the text containing master carpenters questioning his ministry. In the book of St. Mark, chapter 2, verses 20 through 23, chapter 2, verses 23 through 28, it's written, and it came to pass that he traveled with the worthy husband on the Sabbath day. And his teachers began, as they walked to and fro, to take up produce for the work. And the Pharisees said to him, consider, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful? And he said to them, have you never read what David did when he was lacking and he was starving, and they that beacon by reason of him? How he went within a place of Yah in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and did eat of the showbread, which is not lawful to eat but for the priest, and gave also to them who were with him. And said to them, the Sabbath was made for the kindred, and not for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the anointed one of the patrimony is like a master also of the Sabbath. And concerning the questioning of the Jews regarding Yahshua's Messiahship while in the temple, the priesthood being the allotted right of the firstborn bestowed upon Levi. In the book of St. John, chapter 10, 22 to 24, it is written, and it came to pass in Jerusalem a solemn assembly for consecration, and it was winter. And Yahshua walked out of the temple to Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews round about and demanded of him, how long do you make us doubt? If you are the Messiah, tell us plainly. Given that the prophet and priest Yahshua was the chief man of the builder of Joseph, his and sense of judgment according to the law had already traveled among the masons through his works, which is a marked distinction of the builder of Joseph as previously rehearsed. The prophet Yachanan bare witness to Yahshua's works prior to his ceremonial ablution, and said that Yahshua was indeed a Messiah. Concerning this truth, in the book of St. John, chapter 1, verse 29, verses 32 through 36, and verses 41 through 45, it is written, the next day, John saw Yahshua coming towards him and declared, look, the leader of the patrimony, which led to remove the perversity of the temple. And John bare record declaring, I had a vision of a chief cast down from among honorable men by reason of intoxication, and he had mercy on him, but I knew him not. But he that ordained me for ceremonial ablution with water, the same said to me, the one whom you shall foresee divine intellect beyond measure, and remaining in him, the same is he which over perverse kindred and the cursed man. And I prophesy and bear record that he is the anointed one of the patrimony. Again, the next day after, John stood fast and two of his disciples, and looking upon Yahshua, he declared, take heed, the leader of the patrimony. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, we have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yahshua of Nazareth, of Joseph. And Nathanael said to him, can there any good prophet come out of Nazareth? Philip said to him, come and see. Yahshua saw Nathanael coming toward him and said of him, look, a worthy Philistine against whom none can deal subtly. Nathanael said to him, how know you me? Yahshua answered and said to him, before this man Philip called you, when you were by the fig tree, I had a vision of you. Nathanael answered and said to him, Rabbi, you are the anointed one of the patrimony. You are sovereign of Israel. Yahshua answered and said to him, because I said to you, I had a vision of you by tree, believe you? You shall see greater things than this. He said to them, surely of a truth I say to you, hereafter you shall perceive the markers displeased, and the magistrates of the patrimony and subduing to restore the kindred of the patrimony. It is important to note within the aforementioned scripture that the disciples Philip and Nathanael both knew that Moses and the law wrote concerning a Messiah who was a prophet from Nazareth. Moreover, identified him as a builder of Joseph and the anointed one of the patrimony. Therefore, a distinction is clearly made between the two prophets marked by Moses as anointed ones of the patrimony and his oracles. For Yahshua, as his gospels has sufficiently confirmed, was a chief priest who frequented the temple teaching, while being tested by the discontented chief men of the temple wanted to secretly kill him. And according to the law and the ordinance of the priesthood covenant to the tribe of Levi, Yahshua is confirmed a Levite. On the other hand, Moses also prophesied concerning the anointed one whose works would be to desolate the chiefs of Israel and the rule of the Levites who profaned the patrimony through their witchcraft and sodomite observances. Moreover, concerning Yahshua as the prophet of Nazareth, in the book of Matthew chapter 21, verses 10 through 11, it is confirmed. And when he was coming to Jerusalem, all the race were in commotion, saying, who is this? And the builders, this is Yahshua, the prophet of Nazareth the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. The mystery lies in one's acceptance of the law and the testimony of the prophets, because therein one can discern the severe ignorance of chief men during Yahshua's generation. An example of this ignorance can be found in the Gospels, where throughout Yahshua's advent as Messiah was continually mistaken with the advent of the Messiah resprouted. Concerning this truth, first and foremost, with Yahshua's priest's office in mind, in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 1, verses 18 through 21, it is written, now the birth of Yahshua, a Messiah, was on this wise. When, as his mother Miriam was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of a created man. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just chief and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away secretly. But while he thought on these matters, surely the angel of Jah appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, you kindred of David, fear not to bind to you Miriam, thy wife, for he which is conceived in her is of a consecrated man, and he shall bring forth an anointed one, and you shall call his name Yahshua, for he shall save his patrimony from their trespasses. And in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 2, verses 6, it is written, Now when Yahshua was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the process of time of Herod the sovereign, surely there arrived wise men from the east to Jerusalem, questioning, where is he that is born sovereign of the Jews? For we have gazed at his constellation in the east, and we are come to worship him. When Herod sovereign had heard these things, he became troubled, and all the teachers with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scriptures of the patrimony together, he commanded of them where the Messiah should be shown living. And they said to him, from a family of Judea, for this is written by a prophet, and you, Bethlehem, in the husbandry of Judah, are not the least among the princes of Judah. From you shall come the chief ruler that shall rule my people Israel. Within the aforementioned scripture pertaining to the birth of Yahshua, first and foremost, we are revealed that Miriam was found to be with child before Joseph and Miriam were espoused, and she was found child by a consecrated man. Given the previous enlightenment concerning the sons of Aaron and the tribe of Levi and their relation to the covenant of the priesthood, we understand that it is indeed and in truth, therefore, the sons of Aaron and their who inherited the priesthood and became consecrated to Yah for their priestess office. Concerning the confirmation of this consent, in the book of Exodus, chapter 29, verses 5 and verses 7 through 9, it is written, and take the garments and put upon Aaron the coat and the mantle for the ephod and the breastplate, and gird him with a woven apron for the ephod. Then you shall take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head and cover him. And you shall ordain his sons and put coats upon them. And you shall gird them with aprons, Aaron and his sons, and put the headdresses on them. And the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual ordinance. And you shall consecrate Aaron and his sons. The words Holy Ghost, as translated in the Western writings and translations of the Hebrew scriptures, are two words. The word holy, that is translated in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 1, verse 20, is word 6,944 in the New Strong's Complete Dictionary of Bible Words, copyright 1996, and the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible, and state 6,944. Kodesh, from word 6,942, meaning a sacred place or thing, sanctity, consecrated or consecrated thing, dedicated or dedicated thing, hallowed or hallowed thing, holiness. The word ghost, translated man, is word 5,315 in state. Word 5,315. Nefesh, from word 5,314. A breathing creature, that is, an animal or abstract vitality. It means body, breath, creature, life, lust, man, soul, tablet, amongst other words. Wherefore, we understand that the consent of Yahshua was between Miriam and the consecrated man, which both implies and clarifies Yahshua's lineage being that of the tribe of Levi and the sons of Aaron. Furthermore, Miriam was of the daughters of Aaron, being the cousin of Elizabeth, the daughter of Aaron, the wife of a chief Levite. Concerning this truth, in the book of St. Luke, chapter 1, verses 5, verses 26 through 27, and verses 36, it is written, there were in the days of Herod, the sovereign of Judea, a certain priest named Zechariah of the division of the worshipers of Yah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from Yah to a town of Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a chief whose mark was like Joseph, of the house of David. And the virgin's name was Miriam. And the angel said to her, fear not, Miriam, for you have found favor with Yah. And surely you shall conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahshua. He shall beacon the elder, and shall be consented, and one of the Most High. And the elder sovereign shall yield to him the throne of his forefather. And he shall reign with the tablet to desolate the supplanter by reason of truthfulness. And of his kingdom there shall be no end. Then said Miriam to the angel, how shall this come to pass, seeing I considered not a man? And the angel answered and said to her, a consecrated man shall touch upon you, and fear of the chief man shall envelop you. Therefore, also, that holy prophet which shall be born of you shall be consented a chief of the patrimony. And certainly thy cousin Elizabeth, she also conceived a son in her age, and this is the 6th month with her, who was marked barren. Wherefore, given the aforementioned scripture concerning the birth of Yahshua, we are aligned to the truth that his mother Miriam were of the daughters of Aaron, as Elizabeth her cousin. Also, we are aligned to the truth that it was a consecrated man, a chief of the Levites, who used his position to coerce Miriam into a sexual act, thus confirming the unrighteousness into the laws of Levi, and moreover consenting Yahshua's office into the priesthood. Therefore, Miriam, being of the daughters of Aaron, as well as being defiled by a consecrated chief man, could no longer marry according to her inheritance as ascribed in the law, because she was defiled. Concerning this truth, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 21, verses 1, verses 1, verses 7, verses 9, and verses 13 through 15, it is consented. And the elder communed with Moses. Speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron. Say to them, there shall not even one man become defiled by reason of the dead among his people. They shall not bind a wife that is like a whore, or defiled. Neither shall they bind put away from her husband, for he is consecrated for his patrimony. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she casteth profane her patrimony, shall be consumed with fire. And he shall bind a wife in her virginity, a widow or a divorced woman, or profane, or prostitute. These shall he not bind. Bind a virgin of his own tribe for a wife. Neither shall he cast as profane his seed among the tribe. Also, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 22, verses 12 through 30, it is consented. If the priest's daughter also is married to another man, she may not eat of the offerings of the consecrated persons. But if the priest's daughter is a widow, or divorced, or a child, and is returned to her father's household, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's food, but there shall none relative eat thereof. Wherefore, given the aforementioned consent pertaining to the daughters of Aaron, we are enlightened to the truth and understanding regarding the circumstances of Yosef's espousal to Miriam, and his contemplation concerning putting Miriam away, Miriam herself being child. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, verses 1 through 2, it is consented. When a man has taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his presence, because he have found some impurity in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and put it in her hand, and send her from his household. And when she has departed from his house, she may go and become another man's wife. Therefore, Yahshua was born of the sons of Aaron, and his mother, a daughter of Aaron, due to her being forced and defiled by a priest, was to become the wife of Yosef of the house of David. Moreover, Yahshua testified and bear witness that he was not the Messiah, the son of David, but taught his disciples and followers that the promotion of the Messiahship was placed upon the chief man of Joseph, whom the patrimony chiefs rejected. First and foremost, Yahshua and his claim as not being of the lineage of the house of David. In the book of St. Mark, chapter 12, verses 35 to 37, it is written, and Yahshua answered and said, while he taught in the temple, how teach the scribes that a Christ is the son of David? For David himself said in the holy tablet, Yah said concerning my reverence, continue in my perfect word till I make thine enemies thy subjects. Now David therefore himself called it reverence. And how is that then his son? Also, in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 22, verses 446, it is confirmed. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahshua asked them, questioning, what think you of the Christ? Whose progeny is he? They say concerning him, the resprout of David. He said to them, how then do David, through divine inspiration, consent in the reverence teaching? Yah said concerning my reverence, continue in my perfect work, until I render thine enemies thy subjects. If David then called it reverence, how is his son? And no chief was able to answer him a word. Neither dared any great man from that day forth ask him any more questions. And concerning the scripture in which Yahshua referred regarding David, in the book of chapter 10, in the book of Psalm 110, chapter 110, verses 1 through 2 and verses 4 through 5, it is confirmed. Yah said concerning my reverence, continue you in my perfect work, and to thine enemies thy subject. Yah will send the support of thy builders from the desert. Rule you with wisdom to desolate thine enemies. Yah have desired and will not regret. You are a chief ruler by means of truthfulness according to the divine law of righteousness. The reverence for thy perfect work shall designate us sovereigns among the enlightened to desolate his transgressors. As clearly mentioned in the scripture concerning the doctrine of the Christ as being the son of David, it is made evident that even in Yahshua, that the ignorance and interpretation of the Hebrew sacred scripture was prevalent among the priests and the chief men. And moreover, the falsehoods were taught and accepted as truth by the builders as well. And the example said ignorance is revealed in the Gospels. When, as the fame of Yahshua's ministry spread among the Jews, they proclaimed him as the resprout of David. Yahshua himself being a priest descended from the sons of Aaron according to the law, covenant right confirmed by his teaching in the temple. Concerning this account, in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 20, verses 29 through 34, it is confirmed. And as they departed Jericho, many husbandmen followed, and surely 2 master builders walking by in conversation, when they perceived that Yahshua passed by, cried to him, saying, have mercy on us, O master, you heir of David. And the husband rebuked them because to strengthen their security. But they cried the more, saying, have mercy on us, O master, you heir of David. And Yahshua stood still and called them and said, what will you that I should do for you? They said, Master, that our knowledge may be disclosed. So Yahshua had compassion on them and kindled their knowledge. And by their knowledge became explained, and they followed him. Also, in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 21, verses 8 through 11, it is confirmed. And the insolent master builders put away their treachery from the other traveler. Others selected builders from among the carpenters and compassed them about the road. And the rest that led the front part and that followed proclaimed, saying, Hosanna to the heir of David. Blessed is he that come according to the charge of Jah. Bring salvation of the Most High. And when he was coming to Jerusalem, all the rays were in great commotion, questioning, who is this? And the builder said, this is Yahshua, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. And given the aforementioned scripture, we are in the truth. Though Yahshua was acknowledged by certain master builders as a Messiah, the Christ, which is taught in their mistranslation and interpretation of the scripture, he was widely believed to be the son or resprout of David as taught in their lodges and congregation, which Yahshua himself disputed in his ministry. However, Yahshua the Messiah did lay claim to the ancient promotion of the chief man of Joseph according to the infinite order regarding the Messiahship, which rendered him the headship of the patrimony and thus the judgment seat of the elder of the tribes, who is of the tribe of Judah, whom inherited the kingship of the firstborn. First and foremost, to consent this truth in the Torah. In the book of Genesis chapter 40, verses 8 through 10, it is written, Judah, you are he whom thy kindred shall revere. Thy ministry shall be for the redeemed of thine builders. Thy patrimony's kindred shall buy for you. Judah is committed to purge the assemble. From among the advanced, my son, you are exalted up. He subdued the pervert. He prostrated himself to make atonement, and he overthrew violence. Who shall rise up against him hereafter? Correction shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from among his chief men, until the Messiah appear, and to him the gathering together of the patrimony be accomplished. Given the aforementioned consent of the Torah, we now understand the revelation given by the angel to Miriam concerning the birth of Yahshua, and the elder of the tribe surrendering his judgment seat to Yahshua by Yeshua's consented works, confirming the ancient promotion of Messiahship. Again, concerning this said scripture, in the book of St. Luke, chapter 1, verses 30 through 33, it is written, and the angel said to her, Fear not, Miriam, for you have found favor with Yah, and surely you shall conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahshua. He shall beacon the elder, and shall be consented an anointed one of the Most High. And the elder sovereign shall yield to him the throne of his forefather David, and he shall reign with the tablet to desolate the supplanter by reason of truthfulness. And of his kingdom there shall be no end. And concerning the confirmation in the Gospels regarding the revelation of the angel Gabriel, of the angel Gabriel to Miriam, in the book of St. John, chapter 1, verses 1 through 4, and verses 10 through 12, it is written, From a chief man came an oracle, and the oracle was concerning the patrimony, and the oracle was given by inspiration of Yah. The same was committed to the chief man of the patrimony. Oracles are confirmed by him, and besides him was not any word confirmed that was rendered. To him was committed the manner of life, and that manner of life was the wisdom of the patrimony. He became committed to set at one again truthfulness, and truthfulness was restored by him, and the Roman Empire discerned him not. He translated for his chief ruler, and his chief ruler welcomed him surely. And as many as to them he taught the ministry to become chiefs of the patrimony, even to them that were faithful concerning his charge. Also, in the book of St. Mark, chapter 9, verses 2 through 4, 7 through 9, and verses 11 through 13, it is confirmed. And after 6 days, Yahshua took a pledge concerning himself, Peter and James and John, and guided them to minister according to the Greek promotion apart from one another. And he had changed to ordain them, and his change of raiment was shining, very white, as snow, so as no cloth dressed throughout the world could make whiter than. And there appeared unto them the chief of the drawn out, and he was talking with Yahshua. And there was a darkness that overshadowed them, and the voice came from the gloom declaring, This is my beloved heir. Obey him. And instantly, when they had looked round about, they saw no person at all remaining, except Yahshua only with themselves. And they departed the lodge after the promotion, and he charged them that they should tell no man what things they had seen. The worthy of the patrimony were drawn out from among the wicked. And they asked him, questioning, Why teach the scribes that the chief must confirm the things that shall come? And he answered and told them, A chief surely come forth to make supplication and restore all the books. And how it is written of the anointed one of the patrimony, that he must cast down the tumultuous builders and become committed to stand against the unrighteous. But I say that the chief has confirmed the things that shall come, and they have come to pass according to him, whatsoever they contain, as it is written of him. Again, in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 16, verses 21 and 4 through 27, it is confirmed. From that time forth began Yahshua to show his disciples how that he must enter into Jerusalem and render many oracles for the elders and chief priests and the scriptures, and become committed to application and be exalted chief prince as long as he lives. Then said Yahshua to his teachers, if any husband will have understanding as me, let him restrain himself and take a pledge to make his atonement and follow me. For whosoever will mark his appetites shall lose the same, and whosoever shall be void of his desires for my cause obtain the same. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and be void of his own desires? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his reputation? For the anointed one of the patrimony, for the honorable man of his patrimony and his teachers. And then he shall reward every chief according to his works. And in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 21, verses 42 to 46, 46, it is written, Yahshua said to them, did you never read in the scriptures that the masons which the builders rejected, the same has become the chief man to desolate the impudent? He is God's benefactor, is set apart concerning our knowledge. Therefore say I to you, the rule of the patrimony shall be taken from you, and given to kindred bringing forth the fruits thereof. And whomsoever shall come against this mason shall be destroyed. But whomsoever he shall come, he will grind him to powder. And when the chief priests and Pharisees had heard his parables, they discerned that he spake of them. But when they sought to pursue themselves against him, they feared him because they considered him a prophet. As given in the aforementioned scripture, which confirms the revelation of the angel Gabriel to Miriam, we understand that Yahshua had works that were beforehand committed to the chief of the patrimony. Now Yahshua himself translated for the same chief, revealing himself as the anointed one of the patrimony, the chief that restored the sacred books. And by reason of the oracles that had come to pass already according to his works, the elder himself acknowledged Yahshua as the Messiah and declared him heir to the throne of his forefather David. Briefly again, in the book of St. John, chapter 1, 1 through 3, 10 through 11, it is written, from a chief man came an oracle, and the oracle concerning the moon. And the oracle was given by inspiration of Yah. The same was committed to the chief man of the patrimony. All oracles are confirmed by him. And besides him, not any word confirmed that was written. He became committed to set it one against truthfulness, and truthfulness was restored by him. And the Roman Empire discerned him not. He translated for his chief ruler, and his chief ruler welcomed him surely. And in the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 5, verse 2, it is written, for Judah prevailed over his brethren, and of him came the chief ruler. But the birthright was Joseph's. Again, in the Genesis chapter 49, verse 10, it is consented, correction shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from among his chief men, until the Messiah appear. And to him shall the gathering together of the patrimony be accomplished. Also, in the book of St. Mark, chapter 1, verses 9 through 11, it is written, and it came to pass in those days that Yahshua departed from Nazareth of Galilee, and greatly desired the ceremonial ablution of John, and straightway coming up out of the water, he had a vision of the builders divided, and perceived the kindred banqueting abundantly because of him. And there came a proclamation from an honorable man declaring, you are my beloved heir apparent to the throne, with whom I am well pleased. Again, in the book of St. Mark, chapter 9, verses 4 through 7, and in verses 11 through 12, it is confirmed. And there appeared to them the chief of the throne now, and he was talking with Yahshua. Yahshua. And Peter spoke and said to Yahshua, Master, it is an advantage for us to be here. Moreover, let us set up 3 lodges, one for you and the worthy of the drawn out, and one for the chief. And he understood not what to request, for he was very anxious. And there was a darkness that overshadowed them, and the voice came from the gloom declaring, This is my beloved heir, obey him. And they asked him, questioning. He describes that the chief must confirm the things that shall come. And he answered and told them, the chief surely come forth to make supplication and restore all the books, and how it is written of the anointed one of the patrimony that he must cast down the tumultuous builders, admitted to stand against the unrighteous. And in the glorious Quran, Surah 5, Ayah 75, it is written, the Messiah, the son of Miriam, is none other than a prophets, the like of whom had passed away before him. And his chief was a saintly man. And his chief was a saintly great man. And they both used to eat earthly food. See how we make the revelations clear for them? And how they all together convert afterwards? Wherefore, we are enlightened to the scriptural truth, yet that Yahshua, acknowledged by the chief ruler of the patrimony, received the ancient promotion of the Messiahship, and thereby was exalted heir and chief prince as long as he lived, just like the anointed ones of the patrimony who passed away before him, which leads us to the question concerning the indoctrination of the crucifixion. Yahshua himself explained his promotion to disciples and revealed briefly the outcome of his revelation. Again, in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 16, verses 21 and verses 27, it is written, from that time forth began to show Yahshua his disciples how that he must enter into Jerusalem and render many oracles for the elders and chief priests and the scriptures, and become committed to make supplication and be the chief prince as long as he lived. For the anointed one of the patrimony shall translate for the honorable man of his patrimony and his teachers, and then he shall reward every builder according to his work. And the account concerning Yahshua's supposed death sentence. First and foremost, in the book of St. John, chapter 11, and verses 45 through 53, it is written, then the elders of the Jews, which came thereat with bitterness, and had seen the oracles which Yahshua yielded, believed concerning him. But the dead of them went their ways to the Pharisees, and told them which oracles Yahshua had spoken. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council, and reasoned, what do we? For this man furnish men works. If we allow him to ordain the select, all the kindred will be faithful to him, and the Romans will proceed and take away our temple and our patrimony. And the chief among them, named Caiaphas, becoming the high priest that same year, said to them, you know nothing at all, nor consider that it is an advantage for us that a chief builder should discharge the kindred, and that the entire patrimony perish not. And this revealed he, not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahshua should discharge of the patrimony, and not the impudent of the patrimony only, and that he should gather together in one the worthy of the patrimony that were scattered abroad. Then from that day forth, they counseled together to appear to put him to death. In the book of St. Mark, chapter 15, verses 1 through 16, it is written, and straightway in the morning, priests held a council with the elders and the scribes and the entire tribunal, and instructed Yahshua, and exchanged him secretly, and delivered the other to Pilate. And Pilate asked him, "You the king of the Jews?" And he answering said to him, "You think it?" And the chief priests accused him of many things, but he said nothing. And Pilate again asked him, saying, "Question you, consider how many things they bear witness against you." But the other yet said nothing. So therefore Pilate wondered. Now at this solemn feast he released to them one prisoner, whomsoever they desired. And there was a husbandman called out to disguise the chief, which remained shackled with them that had committed insurrection with the other that had committed murder in the insurrection. And the adversary, agitating the crowd, began to demand to do as he had always done for them. But Pilate answered them, saying, "Will you that I release to you the king of the Jews?" For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. But the chief priests agitated the tumultuous ones, that he should rather release the chief to them. And Pilate answered and said again to them, "What will you then that I should do with the other whom you call the king of the Jews?" And they shouted out, "Crucify him." Then Pilate said to them, "Why? What evil have he done?" And they shouted out more vehemently, "Crucify him." So Pilate, willing to please the tumultuous ones, released the chief to them and handed over the other after he had him whipped to be crucified. And to confirm this truth, in the glorious Quran, Surah 4, Ayat 157 to 158, it is written, "And because of their saying and boast, we killed Yeshua, the son of Miriam, the messenger of Yah. But they killed him not or crucified him. But the resemblance of Isa was put over another man, and they killed that man. And those who differ therein are full of doubts. They have no certain knowledge. They follow nothing but conjecture. For sure they killed him not. But Yah exalted him up with his understanding and tablet for himself, and he was over the honorable man. And Yah is ever all powerful, all wise." Again, the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, reads in its entirety. "Yah, who for a long process of time and with consenting oracles spake in the time past concerning the patriarchal prophets, have against these Western chronicles spoken to us through his anointed one, whom he hath made inheritor of all the oracles, through whom also he confirmed the Messianic periods, who beacon thee to desolate his foolish, and the engraving to stand upright for his honorable, and upholding all the commandments by reason of his ministry, because he had by himself cast out our sinners, to behave self by reason of a sure ministry, seeing the mastery of the Most High, being marked so much better than the teachers, as he have by reason of conquest obtained a more noble name than they. For concerning chief certified he at each age, you are my anointed one. This age I have sent with commandment you. And again, I will be like to him a father, and he shall be like to me a son. And again, when he against the chiefest of the Messianic period, he avouched, and let all the teachers of the patrimony revere him. And of the teachers he spake, who rendered his teachers vain, but his ministers beacon for the east. Moreover, the anointed one he avouched, thy judgment seat, O chief, is to employ truthfulness and victory. The correction for that which is altogether just is the scepter of thy reign. You have righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore, Yah, even thy sovereign, have anointed you with the anointing, seeing the revolution to cut off the bloodthirsty. And you, Yah, in the beginning had laid to desolate magical craft, and the astrologers coveted the works of thy ministry. They shall be judged, but you established, and they shall decay at the same time, as do a garment, and like as a vesture shall you them up, and they shall be disposed of, and you shall break the same, and thy elders shall not disappoint. And to which of the chief certified he in each age, continue in my righteous work until I render thine enemies. Were they not all the husband made quick of understanding, sent forth to minister to them who shall be inheritors of liberty? And in conclusion, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, 14 through 16, it is written, be you not joined to associate discordingly, to sympathize with the disbelieving. For what fellowship have the righteous with the wicked? And what fellowship have alone with wickedness? And whose consent has a Christ as a Levite? Or what portion have him that believe like the heathen? And whose consent has the tablet of Jah against idols? And you are the tablet for the revived patrimony, as Jah had promised. I will lodge with you and compass about them. I will be their sovereign, and they shall be my congregation. And until next time, that's part 2 of the tribes of Israel. Part 3 is Judah.
Man. Oh, Fred Jackson. Brother Israel up in the building, man. AKA the Holy Prophet up in here, man. Man, we had a troll just come in here, man. You know what I'm saying? I looked down and I looked up. You know what I'm saying? We had a troll coming here, man. Mr. Bob T, man. He say, you all speak the same language. All of your preach hate. You're just like the raven that left Noah and never come back.
What you tell? Listen. This what I'm gonna say to that Amorite. I didn't teach hate. I taught the scriptures. I didn't teach hate. I taught the scriptures.
That's what I'm saying.
I taught nothing but the scriptures. Listen, hit dog or holler. If he felt that I taught hate, then he must be one of those that believe that the white people are the chosen ones. I just taught the scriptures.
He probably a cracker.
If he can't believe it, cause Yahshua, he taught in the temple, and just didn't Christians say he lived a sinless life, right? Didn't Christians say Yahshua lived a sinless life? That means he didn't break the law. Didn't I just reveal in the law that the priests were the only ones that's supposed to go in the temple and teach? Why would Yahshua break the law?
You know how many Hebrew Israelites spilled the seed in strange lands? A lot of you are not.
I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew Israelite.
He got to be. He's definitely a heathen.
No,
because he's a heathen.
Yes, he's heathen. Yeah. He controls. He controls. Guess what? Guess what? He better hope he don't meet the cutting instrument.
We're gonna fillet that motherfucker, man.
Understand? No, listen to this. See, understand this. People fail to read. Listen. People fail to understand, or they don't read between the lines. See, there's one manner of law for sons and for the people, so he can get it too. He can get it too. If you live amongst Israel, and a sovereign of Israel holds the sovereignty of the northern realm, just like a mason who can get the cutting instrument and get played alive, they can too. And see what that was slander. That's the penalty of death. Any commandment that is violated, the penalty is death. And see, that's what they fail to understand. I just want to allow them to see that. They're dead man walking. All of them. Right. And they fail to realize that they don't understand this. They dead men walking. He's bad because I told him that his Jesus was a Levite. If you expect son of David to come back, wait for him in hell. Wait for him in hell, because that's where you're going to be. I'm telling you, if you're waiting for Yahshua, the son of David, the descendant of David to come, it's not possible. That entire indoctrination of believing him to come back, it's not possible. The scriptures speak of the last days of a tribe of Judah, a Messiah that's coming back. And like, it'll be, I revealed it already over and over and over, but my next presentation is going to be on that, because I got more to add to it.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you, before we get into your next presentation, what do you want to get out of part 2, identifying the 12 tribes of Israel? Because I've seen you talk about sodomites a whole lot.
But you got to understand, but it's self-explanatory. All these people really want to know what's going on with people in Hollywood and in the music industry. They want to say they're Illuminati. Understand what it is. This is what the ignorant. This is the term that the ignorant. It's the Masonic order. And what you see the lodges of Levi and their members. Understand the sovereigns belong to Levi, stole works, and they were exalted because stolen works. And these stolen works were considered by the elder. That much is true, and that much they know. I'm just gonna teach, bro. Everything is on them. I don't have no idea. I'm just gonna teach and enlighten those who need to be enlightened.
Now, what would you say? All right, so because we did the part 1 to part 2. Who you say the majority of the African Americans are? The majority of the African Americans. Which tribes or tribes would you say that most of us African Americans are from?
Understand this. It was a diaspora of what you want to call, for lack of shorter term, African Americans. We already during the time of Moses, we were over here, bro.
Right.
During the time of Moses, we were over here, and the West was destroyed. What you see in the Grand Canyons and all of that, where they was talking about that is no, that wasn't the real Egypt. Egypt just had influence over there because Pharaoh, he was the sovereign over all the realms at that time. And you had a great civilization over here at that time. All those these statues of what they were, these pharaohs or whatnot found over there, it's true because Egypt's influence had even spread to the West during that time. And the West was destroyed during the time of Moses. And there was an exodus from the west to the east during the time of Moses just because of his ministry. But that is not taught, because you got to understand, in circular religions, the only thing that is taught is the indoctrination of that religion. That's it.
Right.
They are only given what their teachers have the capacity to teach them.
Right. So the scripture already said, Babylon, spiritually Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So we know Egypt has a big influence in America. We see how.
But but I'm talking about Egypt can also mean adversary. When you look in your dictionary, you look up Egypt. What is it like? Word, I want to say, and I could be mistaken. 4,715, 4,713, something like that. 4,714. It should, you know what I'm saying? But if you look up that word, the Egyptian is actually a Greek word, Egypt. You know what I'm saying? It's Mitzrayim, but it means adversary. So, we are in the land of adversary. We are in Egypt. We are in Babylon. And you got to understand, bro, we are hated. We are hated. We are hated, but it's nothing they can do about it.
Right.
If we was believing their indoctrinations and going along with them, everything was okay. But now in these end days where people are getting enlightened and gathering knowledge and getting some sort of, foundation, now, they want to peek out and they want to say this and say that, but they ignorant because they don't know. If they would have known better, they won't say nothing. If they knew the law, they wouldn't say nothing. If they knew the law, they wouldn't say nothing.
Right.
I don't know the man named T-Bob, whatever his name. Tell him to check out the troller. Just tell him to go check out what was it Mites or the Canaanites who were the Caucasians. All he needs is a dictionary. But I believe they're afraid to pick up a dictionary and read because they're going to read something they don't want to see.
Right. No,
it's not hate.
Most of the Israelites are waking up now. Most of the Israelites are waking up now from the whole Edomite thing. That they just Edomite. Me personally, myself, I think they're a mixture of Canaanites and Edomites because Esau mixed in with the Canaanite women. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like this, homie. A lot of people don't want to fully let go of all indoctrination, so they interlace it, just like the scriptures just say. They want to interlace. Esau and Yaakov were twins. They were twins. It wasn't no such thing as one being light or one being white, and it's an intermixed. You have intermixed Israelites now. That's Hebrew Israelite. Damn Edomites, who they think are Edomites. You have Israelites mixing right now. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I'm totally serious. You have Israelites who mix in.
I don't.
No, I'm just saying.
The people that think that they're not coming into. All right, well, the white folks probably are Canaanites and Edomites mixed like me. I don't take that scripture of his blood was showing under his skin. Because when I read it, he just was a red bone Negro. You know what I'm saying? We know the red bone Negro.
No, but listen, even by our standards, red bone is wrong. Red bone is by biblical standards, it's reddish in complexion. Right. Red bone and red is different. If you tell somebody to pick out a red bone color, and they're not from over here, the first color they'll pick out is red. It's not light, but that's what we call red bone. Just out of ignorance of just what we do. But reddish of complexion means just that. A reddish complexion, and red is a like you can't, but you know it. You have dark hues, and you have, you know what I'm saying, to the lighter hues.
So,
but like I said, I don't believe
the brothers. What you want the brothers and the sisters that are Israelites scattered abroad, whether it's through the transatlantic slave trade, or whether it's through the sub-Saharan slave trade, whether it's through the Roman slave trade, the Greek slave trade, the Persian slave, they are the damn Assyrians and the Babylonians and the damn Egypt, all the way back to the beginning. What you want the brothers and sisters worldwide?
It's not so much of a religion, or it's not so much of trying to belong to a religion or a congregation and try to a doctrine. If you wanna be accepted by y'all, keep his law. Keep his law. Damn what somebody teaching. They've been teaching falsehood since Babylon. Right. Since the fallen angels. If you really want to know what to do right, study the law. Y'all reveal it to you. You just got to pick up and start studying. Get a dictionary. Get a concordance. And sit down and just pick out scriptures and go to looking up some certain words. That's what I did. I'll pick out probably 7 words. But I took each one of those words and I tried to relate it to the law or the stories that I had already previously read long time ago in the Bible, and make some type of sense of what was going on. That's what I did. I just didn't get to this point. I've been reading the Bible since I was 8 years old. You feel me? So it's nothing new to me. I was one of those that was raised in the church. And I'm going to tell you like this. It's hard for a Christian to convert from Christianity.
Woo! Because all they've been taught is lies.
I was one, bro.
All they've been taught is lies and how to break the Most High's laws.
Listen. As one who was born a Christian, bro, and raised up as a Christian, and then the funny about it is, before my mother passed, even though she was born a Christian, she told me that she was a Hebrew Israelite. She used to be. This was back in the 60s. You feel me? So the truth, if it's in you, it's gonna come out you, bro. It's just like Yahshua said. He said, "My sheep shall know my voice." So it's just like Yahshua, man. I'm not going to the chiefs of the patrimony, the chiefs of Israel. They doomed. It's over. It's over with for them. They can't. How can they convert? How? In order to convert, they have to acknowledge that their doctrines, everything they have taught their congregations, to their congregations, that they are wrong, that everything was wrong, that Jesus didn't die on the cross for their sin. They won't believe that. A Hebrew Israelite can't believe it. They won't believe it. Their teaching passed down from their teachers, it's just being passed down. But the hardest thing to convince somebody of is an unfamiliar truth. If it's foreign to them, they won't accept it. But even though the truths of evidence, like Yeshua say, he say, if you don't believe me, then believe the works. Believe the works. If you don't believe me, believe your own law. But see, that's the thing. The law has no parts of the chiefs of the patrimony now. They have more confidence in their secret councils and the agreement they come up with at the end of their council than what it said in the law. The law can tell them to do this. They'll feel justified in just saying, oh, we just take counsel and we came up with this judgment. So the Most High, he found favor with us because we came up with a judgment. But their judgment was not according to the law. The law said this. They met and do what they want to do. I can't respect that. That's a hypocrite. That's a hypocrite, bro. That's a wolf in sheep clothing. This is how you hide. When you meet in these secret councils, you are hiding things from your lodge and from your congregation. And that's also a violation of the law. What is there to hide? Only thieves and murderers and rapists and fornicators and sodomites want to hide stuff and keep it in secret and not want to go out and do the right thing. If you know you worship idols and it's wrong in your life, why not attack this situation, this wrong? Why allow it to go on? I'm pretty sure anybody can go on the internet right now. I could be in Saudi Arabia and go on the internet and I could see y'all Masons on YouTube messing with other men, having sex with other men, having sex with each other's wife, and all of them in the Masonic order, in these lodges of Levi, and the lodges of whoever, these sovereigns over here in America. And they putting it on TV. They're not trying to hide they having sex with each other's wife. They ain't not trying to hide they sodomite, they sodomite each other. They ain't trying to hide none of it. But guess what? All of them are on the register of those lodges. Every last one of them who y'all call Illuminati. You see the necklaces they be wearing. You see how they be standing. I recognize them. I know Ben Weed recognize them. We all recognize them. And they've been living like hell, doing whatever they want to. What elder over here have stepped in and stopped them? It's still never run this country. Don't be deceived by these presidents and people you see. Don't be deceived by them. All of them puppets, that's the stage that's given to the world to watch the play. It's these ones behind. Why you think so much homosexuality and gay laws are passed now? Why you think they don't want black men in the households? So these women can continue raising little niggas with feminine traits and feminine ways. Why? Why nobody ain't trying to push some type of issue to stop it all? These same upright Masons, these sovereigns. You want to know why? Just turn on YouTube or TikTok or any of that and look at it. These are Masons breaking the law, violating, fornicating, men putting on dresses. Didn't the law say a man don't supposed to put on a woman clothing, a woman on man clothing? And don't they do it? Did anything that's any sin committed, the penalty is death? It's a investigated. If you hear of anything, investigate it and make sure that it's true and arrest those guilty. How long has it been going on over here? How many arrests of these motherfuckers they made? None. So what that mean? They all a part of it. They all for it. That mean all of them supposed to die. But you know what? They'll come against the innocent. They'll come against the poor people and take what's theirs. But when them standing up and trying to push the law and get justice for the poor, they ain't for that. So I've been watching. I've been from the time before I got out of prison. I've been watching these motherfuckers, bro. All these are part of these lodges. My eyes been on them before they even start exposing themselves. Before I start, that what made me want to translate or start writing, putting it down on paper, seeing the wickedness. See how long it continue to go on? Man, I know the great curse done fell upon the lodges and the people.
Yeah, man. And so what can we expect? Oh, so next show, what are you What are you planning on doing the next show? What you want to do the very next show?
I haven't even broke down the tribe of Judah yet. That was just Levi, but you got to understand when you mentioning one tribe, others will play a part. Like the first one was the builders of Joseph.
We're doing part 3. Okay.
The birthright series. Remember, you had Joseph, you had Levi, and you had Judah. And I'm showing a connection.
All right. So
if you go back, if you go run back the first one, I talked about Levi a little. I mentioned Judah. But see that the thing is to bring a focus so you can get a full understanding. See, I'm tired of this bullshit, how all these people being misled. Oh, Jesus coming back. Oh, he the son of David. Where did it say that? I showed that where even Yeshua himself questioned that. Yeshua questioned that. He asked, why do y'all teach that? It go to show you that these doctrines, these religions, whatever they was called around, they've been around. They've been teaching this.
So next show gonna
all this ain't nothing new.
You say part 3 identifying the birthright. You say part 3 identify the you know what I'm saying, the 12 of Israel.
Understand?
The birthright.
Put it like this: the rights of the firstborn. The rights of the firstborn was broken, was separated. But see there, if you go back to the first one, I'd already broke that down. That was the introduction to the first one, but it led to Joseph. Now I'm talking about Levi. That's why I went back to the birthright. I showed where Levi received the priesthood, Joseph received the birthright, and how Judah received the kingship. So therefore, Judah is the elder. It's up to Judah to execute judgment and make the decisions.
Right.
The Levites are just the judges. They go to the law and they say, well, the law state this and the law state this and the law state this, and these are the penalties. Then it's up to the elder or Judah given the headship.
Okay.
They are given the headship. They sit in the kingship.
Right,
they
so
execute the justice and judgment.
What I want the crowd to know is what to expect in part 3. What to expect in part 3? What are you going to be talking about in part 3?
Judgments and cutting instruments, and the resprout of David.
So part 3,
it's nothing good, bro. I'm gonna teach, but you got to understand what each one have to get in depth to show them. And I'm gonna show them throughout the scriptures. I'm gonna take them into the oracle to show them that a revolution is coming. It can't be denied. It can't be denied, bro. Listen. I'm talking about listen. You ain't seen a revolution till you seen the sovereigns of Israel and their congregations get put to death in the middle of the street, bro, with the cutting instruments. And it's televised for the world to see. That's when you're gonna know. Because it's
televised.
It's consented and confirmed in the scriptures already. 2/3 of Israel. Good riddance to them.
You telling me that they gonna let it be televised? People getting filleted with that cut instruments on TV? Or you talking about on YouTube?
If they go get it, listen. Listen. Don't these people record shit already? If they getting beat with the cutting instrument, you think we're gonna go in their house and beat them with a cutting instrument? The law states that they stay with their family. And when that goon squad come around, they come out and surrender themselves. And for most of them, that's the only way their children or their wives get to survive. They have to give over their life for theirs. If all of them stay in the house, they all starve to death. You either die of the cutting instrument,
we gonna starve
famine, which is starvation. It's three. The cutting instrument, famine, or the plagues.
Or the
plagues. No, you can get burned too.
Yeah, I know you
don't die long enough. We just gonna pour gasoline on you and send your ass up in flames. Yeah, that's the judgment. So it can come either way. But the cutting instrument, you're gonna get flayed alive.
Hey,
you're gonna get flayed alive.
Christians, man. You're scaring them Christians right now, man. They're getting scared, man.
Listen, they killed my Bible. Listen, they stole my stuff, had it consented, lied about it, slandered my name saying I robbed McKinley Hill, I did it, all this shit. They lied on me, bro. They took away my life. They murdered the witnesses who I sent my works to get it to the Lord. They murdered both of them within the 2 years I was supposed to come home. So there wouldn't be a witness. So I wouldn't have nobody to say this mine, but they never considered that I knew everything they was doing. They never made more than one copies of everything that I read, and I spread it out everywhere. And I got witnesses, and then those witnesses got works that I've been doing this since 2010, writing and putting out my works, just passing them out, bro. They in trouble. What I'm writing now, I'm writing for my scraps. I'm writing for my scraps. I got stacks of scraps, bro, of translations.
Real quick.
You seen them?
Oh yeah, you know I don't seen them. Real quick, man.
And I done wrote a whole nother tablet. And I done wrote a whole nother tablet. I'm talking about just translations.
Let me ask you this
and
right
this
here for the so-called awakening Israelites that, you know, they still into the one West type of doctrine. Some of them say they're not with one West, but they still got that type of mindset. Is we gonna have to wait on the chariots in America, or will there be a great migration like it always been throughout every captivity? But for some reason, you got Negroes thinking that you know, hey man, we gotta wait for the chariots to fly, man. They're gonna come beam us up, and they're gonna take us, you know what I'm saying, to the east, and blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But when I read it, when I read the scriptures, I always see, you know what I'm saying, it take you to flee yourself. I always see in every captivity, whether it was the Egyptian, the Persians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians.
Even when we was in captivity, that it's gonna be a great migration. I have look in all my works in my tablets, man. I don't trade so much that I got deposited back home. I done translated it so much, bro, that before I got out, I translate over half the chapters I got. I ain't even get a chance to go back and use nothing out of. I wrote like 25 works. I wrote, I have stuff on all of that.
Be a great migration.
Yeah, there's gonna be a great migration. See, that's topics I haven't even. I could listen. I could write on this cross. I could write on this exact time way cross, confirming it through the prophets and the law about this time way cross, and the Masons and the families that's in it, bro, and how they're gonna die, bro, and those that's gonna be spared. I can write it. I have it in my tablets.
Now check this out. I want to on the Great Migration. How will the Israelites be migrating out? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, it's only going to be the chosen. Listen, it's only going to be the chosen. Yeah, it's only going to be the chosen. Some going to fly by boat.
Okay.
It's going to be. It's just going to be like portions. Listen, when the revolution happened, it's not this country. Understand that first. A lot of people are going to want to stick to their own religion. They're going to say, well, these people over here crazy. That's just a new cult. That's what they're going to think. But you got to understand, after those of the lodges over here be hunted down, for America to be destroyed, it's just like everything in the law or the sign's going to be put out there. It's time to go. And we're just going to start packing up and start moving slowly but surely, leaving little by little, leaving by little. They ain't going to discern it. And once all of us go and they celebrating, they partying like it's 2027 or something, and then that bomb gonna hit their ass all over. Bro, all over, bro. It said 1/3 of the West. Understand that Babylon is not the West. The West is the Western Hemisphere. Canada, down to South America. So 1/3 of the populace of that is Babylon. Babylon is going to be destroyed. Is going to be destroyed. You ever see the movies where New York is underwater? Do you know how New York go underwater, bro? All you got to do is detonate a nuclear warhead over the ocean.
Yeah, that's it.
The whole eastern seaboard is underwater. It's over with.
That's it.
Listen,
that's it.
That in itself take care of any shipping. That in itself take care of. It's gonna kill any shipping or anything trying to come over here and set port over here to give help.
Right.
That's over with. Ain't shit coming across.
Right.
They done did Mexico so bad. I don't think nobody gonna be able to flee to Mexico. You feel me? See, this country done did so much bad shit. When it do go down, there's gonna be nobody to help them.
Right. Oh,
and then nobody to help. The ones that choose to stay, they're gonna die here, bro. There's not gonna be electricity. There's not gonna be edible food.
They're gonna stay.
There's not gonna be. Yeah, they're gonna stay here and die.
That's why I say a
you know,
blast
those
shall
our
remove
mamas,
them.
our grandmas, our aunties, sister them.
When you listen to the
Men
scriptures and it say a
don't have
blast shall remove them, a blast is talking about a nuclear blast, bro. More than one.
Oh yeah.
More than one.
I mean, the Bible
The
talks about
object is to destroy. Listen, bro, these people are vulnerable, bro. Listen, bro. I be reading comments in a lot of these things sometime, and don't you know that if a woman don't like something a man say, she'll come and say, girl, you need to sit your behind. They get to where they get so mad they want to call a man and woman now if they don't like something he say. See, these women, they have no morals. They have no respect. See, in the scriptures, you get put to death for that. You get put to death for that. But they don't know that. But see, they don't know that. But according to the knowledge of Yah, they already got a death. So guess what? Those same arrogant ass women. And the sad part is they got kids. They got kids. And since they don't like to listen to nobody, they're gonna have it.
But brother Israel, they saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, man. They saved, sanctified. They saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, man.
Yeah.
And they married to Jesus.
Listen, you right. You right. They saved from deliverance. They filled with hell. And they sanctified, you know what I'm saying, from amongst the righteous. That's how I see it. They are saved from deliverance. They are sanctified from among the righteous. And they are filled with hell. And I'm going to beat some hell out of them. So by the time they get there, to be more for them. That's how that works. That's how that works. I ain't finna play for what. Listen, bro. Listen, I'm going to tell you. Listen, a lot of people scared to die. They scared for their life. Bro, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. One thing I know, if I go, the world go.
Man.
And guess what? Man. Guess what? True. I know I'll never taste hell. I know I'll never taste. I know I never. All those that I done bear witness against, they have no choice. It was either it's either repent or meet this doom. And I guess that Messiah come home on the 26th. Remember, I made that challenge. I say put your most meatest on your throne and fight for you. So I guess they waiting for him. He come home on the 26th. So let him get his talent and his work, and let him fight for the patrimony, since that's the one they made the sovereign.
One more question, man, before I let you get out of here. One more question. Talking about the great migration, the last days, how close do you think we are to this great migration, to these nukes flying, you know what I'm saying, to it's time for the
it's so close. It's so close. It's so close. It's so close. I can smell the blood. I can smell the blood from my victims.
Ooh.
I can smell it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it seems like everything, you know, you got Israel fighting 2 wars right now. They still fighting, you know what I'm saying, Pakistan and still fighting.
Just soften them up.
They are Iran and Pakistan. You know what I'm saying?
They fight for a land that's not theirs. Don't the law say don't the law say don't remove an ancient landmark? Didn't that ancient landmark belong to our forefather Yaqub? Why in the hell is they there?
Well, the Rothschilds in the United States, you know.
Fuck the Rothschilds. Who are they? That belong to the patrimony.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You understand what I'm saying? And see, it's a trespass to allow them to stay there. That's why the law say he who permits sin has transgressed the law. So you gotta it's powers that be that allow them to sit over there. It's powers that be that are allowing our children that go in servitude to these sovereigns to be molested, for their daughters and their sons to be raped and sodomized. They don't want to go through it. It's these sovereigns that's allowing it, and these elders, and they're not doing shit about it. The judgment fall on them.
Man,
I gave the water.
Their blood is upon their.
I gave the water, bro.
Well, man, controversial.
Y'all told me that I fear him. Y'all told me to fear him.
I don't fear no man.
That's what he
I
said.
respect every man. But once a man
Fear
shows
not the one
me
that can kill the body.
disrespect,
Fear the one that can kill the body
mhm,
and the soul. It said, fear not the one that
that's
can
right.
kill the body, but fear the one that can
But
kill the
cast the
body and the
soul, but
soul.
cast the soul to hell. But cast that soul to hell. Like I
Yeah.
told you, bro, I done died twice. I done died. I know how death feels. So whether you take me out fast or what, I don't care. I don't care about dying. I don't care about dying. I done seen the afterlife. I done seen things. So none of that scare me. Like it say, what is man that you regard him, or the anointing one of the patrimony that you care for him? You have made him a Lord. You have made him just a Lord than the angels, and crowned him with great glory. One thing about it, they take for granted the gifts of the Messiahship or the gifts of a prophet. And that's the thing. Then how did John look? How did they describe this? You don't recall how they described John the Baptist? How did they describe John the Baptist? He was a prophet, right?
Yeah.
John the Baptist.
That was
he was a prophet.
Yahweh's cousin.
His cousin, Yahshua's cousin.
Yeah.
How was he described? As looking like a wild man, huh?
Yeah.
April of camel's hair, eating locusts and wild honey. Eating locusts and wild honey. Now tell me, how many people, man, listen, how many people in today's age see a person like that? Huh? Not now, but see that they are clean. Those are clean foods.
Yeah, they clean meat.
Go look in Leviticus. Listen, bro. Let me tell you just how ignorant the congregation is. Don't you know that you are not allowed to keep pets, anything that have claws, that they are unclean to Israel?
No dogs. No
Look
dogs.
at it. Dogs, they have claws, don't they?
Yeah. Dogs,
okay.
Cats, birds.
Go look at Leviticus, bro. Listen, bro, I'm not lying to you, bro. We do not supposed to touch them. We do not supposed to come near them. They are unclean to us. They are unclean to us. But how many Hebrew Israelites got pets? I'm just going to leave that there, bro. We know what animals are clean according to the law. We know what animals are unclean according to the law. So if you didn't know this, that means it's not being taught by your teachers because they don't know, or we're not reading the law for ourselves. And that's where the problem come in at.
Let me put you in a hot seat for a second, man, because you said something. Let me put you in a hot seat real quick, man. Let me know what I'm saying, because you said something about, I think, like 2 years ago to me, and I will ask you about it. So we're talking about clean meats. The shrimp. Is the shrimp a clean meat or not? You said
yeah. This is what I told you. But this is what I told you. I said go about biblical standards. I said if you look at a shrimp, its body is scaled, not like a fish, but it's scaled. But its tail is like a fan or a fin. I say, but me personally, I don't really like seafood anyway. My favorite fish is tuna fish. Open the pack, you know what I'm saying? The mayonnaise, pickles, whip it up. I'm good.
Right.
But I go by the standards of the law. So I ask anybody, you know what I'm saying, that go by the standards of the law. For example, I'm gonna give you this. A locust don't have fins or scales or nothing like that. But they're land animals. You have some sea animals. You have some sea animals that are not shaped like your fish, but they may little small scales or a fin on them, however way they may be shaped. Like I say, you have to look at the guidelines of the law before you choose what to eat. In order for an animal in the water to be clean, it must have both scales and fins. A shark have a fin, but not scales. You feel me? A shark some fish have scales but no fins.
Catfish,
catfish.
No
yeah, it's a lot of them out there. A dolphin, whale,
all kind of fish.
Some people,
all kind of fish.
And people eat them.
I think that mariner, it don't have no damn scales on it either. I don't think that mariner with the long little sword, little goddamn on them.
Yeah. I know you're talking about marlin. You're talking about the marlin. That marlin.
Yeah, marlin.
Marlin. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But some people eat them. But see, that's why I told you. That's why I told you, man. We were given laws to distinguish us. A lot of people think that can keep some laws and forsake the others. But the laws were given to distinguish us from everybody else. From everybody else, bro. And the more you learn of the law, the more of the scriptures you understand. And the more of the contradictions you can go recorrect. Because anytime that you read from any English version of the scriptures and you take their interpretation of it, you'll be misled because it's based on the Christian indoctrination. That King James Bible was made for Protestant Christians, not for Hebrew Israelites, not for Hebrews. Not, you know, it was made strictly, not saying that we can't read it and get something from it. Not saying that we can't read it and get something from it, but it wasn't made for a Hebrew Israelite to take, or anybody, a Hebrew Israelite or something like that, to take into full consideration, especially when the translations go to contradict it.
Right.
Everything according to the law. Everything must be according to the law.
So, controversial and deep biblical breakdown series sponsored by the Scorn Black Man podcast. We gave you Fred Jackson presents Identifying the 12 Tribes of Israel Part 2. He's going to be presenting for Part 3 on next show that he's going to do on here. We don't know. It might be next week. It might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm working so much, man. And the thing is, I work a lot of nights, but I'll turn around and work work the next morning too. So in between that time, I have to go back through much got in order, but I have to find certain scriptures. A lot of them I already have. You know what I'm saying? I already got placed to the side. But the more of my scraps I can go through, and you know what I'm saying, and find, you know what I'm saying, a rough draft of certain chapters or whatnot, I can go from what I want. And so that's really the most painstaking part. But once I have it, I can just sit down and write. Because I come up with the opposite. I come up with a little commentary and just add the consent in the scriptures. I don't like to use no other reference Bible. Oh well, but the sacred
books.
What
would you be getting into?
Rather.
Well, what would you be getting into in Part 3?
Okay, I'll be breaking down Judah and his ministry. I will also break down the marks of Judah as far as their birthright, meaning that of the kingship. I will also show where it is Judah's appointment and Judah's right to execute judgment and justice, and not Levi. And I'm saying that to say this, because it would seem like with all of this wickedness going on over here, that the elder would have stepped in by now or did something. But the wickedness is allowed to persist. And if so, it must be done because he have been deceived by these same Levites and these chief priests, sovereigns. You know what I'm saying? And use the ministry to make it seem like they have to say in executing the judgment, or, you know, whatever. When all they are is the judges. They make the law plain. And then it's up to the elder, the one who's being of the kingship, to execute judgment. That's why kings were appointed. The priests, the Levites were appointed for the priesthood and for giving the people the law. Not saying that they can't execute judgment, but in matters grave enough, it goes to the elder. But knowing that the elder consented stolen works, and knowing that evidence has been provided, and I'm saying that I have it, and that the law said that it's supposed to be investigated immediately, and it haven't been done, that's showing me signs of a cover-up and conspiracy, which are also both laws that are punishable by death against any of the patrimony, whether it be elder, sovereign, prince, priest, or prophet. Well, it doesn't make a difference. No man is above the law.
Y'all gonna get it. Pause. Y'all gonna get it next episode. Fred Jackson presents Identifying.
We're gonna get it next episode.
12 tribes of
I'm gonna
Israel.
talk about
Part
the worthy
3.
too, because
Part
with
3
Judah
next
come the
time.
worthy.
The mark of Judah. The mark of Judah. You're gonna get that next show
The
from
Judah and his worthy. The mark of Judah and his worthy. The mark of Judah and the worthy. The patrimony of the restrained. The patrimony of the restrained. I brought it up in the first one. The patrimony of the restrained. The order of those that come out of prison. Moses had them. Yahshua had them. David had them. Abraham had them.
So
Abraham
y'all gonna be in good for the next one, because I know he's gonna probably break down all the brothers, the gang members coming out the prisons, bragging all the
listen.
the
I have it in my oracles.
Beating them with the filleting instrument,
I
man.
have it in my oracles, bro. Listen, I have so much about them in my oracles that I already have wrote works about them. A lot of the works that you're hearing now are just works I just done redone that I done already wrote before. Most of them.
Cool.
A lot of, but
pretty good damn show.
Oh yeah, it will.
Should be a pretty good show. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the show. Controversial and deep biblical breakdown. Once again, this is the controversial and deep biblical breakdown series. So it's not going to be your conventional teaching. It's going to be controversial. Some shit you probably never heard of before. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of having this series. And it's we have different brothers and sisters, or different teachers of Israelites. So they use the Bible, they use the Quran, they use the Awashbi. They use these different books.
Thing.
You know what I'm saying? And they bring forth. Say what, brother?
And one more thing I want to bring up. For those who teach that the Haitians are the Levites, that means that every priest and every worshiper master in the law is supposed to be a Haitian. For those who teach that the Haitians are the tribe of Levi, that means the Haitians are the priesthood. And that in every lodge in America and all over the world, the priest, he that handles the sacred things in the lodge, you know the inquiries. I don't know if you are inquiries and responses of the 33rd degree. You know what I'm saying? But who handles the sacred things in the lodge? The WM. And we know the sacred things are just are a reflection of the sacred things in the temple. Only the priest can handle them. These priests in the lodge. So if they say in the Hebrew Israelites that's calling themselves priests and everything, and they're not Levites, they lying. You just can't call yourself a priest, brother. You can't just call yourself you have to be of Levi. You have to be of the tribe of Levi and show lineage of Aaron and Levi to be a priest. It ain't no such thing as a white worshiper master in a Masonic lodge of Israel. You feel me?
Right.
Of the patrimony. No such thing. There's no such thing, bro.
Right.
That's not only is that a penalty of death, that means any offerings presented by that worshiper master, that means any offerings presented by that worshiper master, bro, nation. If he's not a Levite and cannot show descendancy from Aaron and Levi, bro. It shows you just how the predicament that Israel is. I'm showing you how messed up we are.
Controversial and deep biblical breakdown series sponsored by the Scorn Black Man podcast, episode 2, presented by Brother Fred Jackson, identifying the 12 tribes of Israel, part 2. Next episode from Brother Fred Jackson, aka Brother Israel, will be part 3, the mark of Judah and the worthy. I am your host, Zadok Hilltop 12 Tribe Israel, man, and I just want to make our brothers and sisters come back to the Most High's law, the commandments, and seek our own salvation with fear and trembling. You know what I mean? You don't have to be up on the congregation. You're not going to make it that way. You don't. Hey, all the things that your elders taught you, man. Some of it was good, some of it was false. You know what I'm saying? They taught you the Israelites. They taught you good right there. Start off from there and keep on pushing and keep elevating your knowledge until you die. You know what I'm saying? We all don't know everything, and we're gonna be learning after we die too. So just keep on learning, keep gathering with brothers and sisters that's in the faith, and we're all not going to agree upon everything, but we're going to take the knowledge that we have together and put it together and just build upon that. You know what I'm saying? Once again, controversial and deep biblical breakdown series sponsored by the Scorn Black Man podcast. I'm your host, Zadok Hilltop 12 Tribes Israel. You know what I'm saying? I got my brother Fred Jackson, aka Israel, aka the Holy Prophet. Shouts out to Ben Weave in the chat. Shout out to Sister Professor Lovely Lady. Shout out to Yoga. Shout out to Cosmic K, Daryl Cosmic, everybody who came in and shined in into the chat, even the troll, you know, Bob T. Bob T, man, hey, boy, it's gonna be a long day for you, man. I know you old Peckerwood, man, you know what I'm saying? But boy, hey, we're gonna fillet your back end anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna damn sure feel the cutting instrument.
I want to make this.
Now go ahead.
Let's clear too bad. Not all the white people are bad people. It's gonna be some white. It's gonna be some whites among our multitude.
Yeah,
understand that, because you got some open-minded, good white bro sisters out there, bro. I don't want to make it seem like I'm racist.
Right
and,
now,
scripture, and I have it in my scriptures, bro. And that's what the patrimony for the restraint is about.
You see a bunch of them in the commercials that I play at the beginning of this identifying the 12 tribes, and most of them people that saying, "Hey, you Negroes are the Israelites," are white people, because I know that our people won't believe that's a white person said. They just even white.
Oh
people
yeah,
know.
that's the thing. And that, bro, I could relate things all day, and being that we can tell you, even in the chain gang, they won't believe me. But if a white person came up and told them the same thing, they'll come back like, man, you know you was right. See, all of that shit, you know, but you know, it's coming among us people. It's coming among us. So, you know,
we can't believe
but
nothing.
Shalom, man. I enjoyed it, man, and I can't wait to see y'all next time. I'm coming with it.
Oh yeah, man. Peace, love to you all.
Great judgment, bro. Destruction.
And this is controversial. Controversial and deep biblical breakdown series, and it's sponsored by the Scorn.
I want to call it the tribe of Judah and the cutting instrument.
Man, hey, you know I'm gonna throw it on the thumbnail, man. I'm gonna get Brother John Yehuda on there, man. We're gonna tell the man part 3, identifying the 12 tribes of Israel, part 3, the tribe of Judah and the cutting instrument, man. I want you to bring it, brother. I want you to spare nobody. I want you to go ham.
Put the worthy on there too. Make sure you put the worthy on there too.
You know what I'm saying? The tribe of Judah, the worthy, and the cutting instrument, man. Oh, man, it's going to be a good one. Once again, y'all tune in to Controversial and Deep Biblical Breakdown series sponsored by the Scorn Black Man Podcast. I'm your host, the Doc Hilltop 12 Tribe Israel. You will listen to the brother Fred Jackson presents Identifying the 12 Tribes of Israel Part 2. He done a thing. We'll see y'all next time. Shalom, peace, and abundant blessings to you all.